just regular people.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, by regular, I mean how they dress. Everybody there is regular person. They may look like they're not.
Mm-hmm.
They might be dressed up, and you start talking to them, and they're normal people.
What was the most non-Kevin concert that you've ever been to?
Oh, I mean, God, I can name a million of them. I mean, like, went to see Harry Connick Jr. with my wife because she loves Harry Connick Jr. and I'm a good husband.
His voice is like butter.
It's not my music,
mm-hmm.
right? I don't listen to nice music.
Only anger and
it's
death.
A little too mellow. It's a little like I don't want mellow. I want energy. I want to rage. I want to have all that going on. But he's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's not my kind of music. And it was a Christmas show. So a lot of that I was like, ugh.
Oh my gosh.
But
I will go. Susan, if you're listening, invite me next time.
So we went and like it was the Christmas show over at the Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And this was I don't know how many years ago, but not that long, like 5-6 years ago, maybe a little more, something like that. And it was like Christmas Carol. And eventually he's like, I don't know about you guys, but if I don't change this up and sing something other than Christmas carols, I may not live to see Christmas or something like that.
No.
Like even I get sick of these, so let's do some other stuff.
Yeah.
So I enjoy him. He's funny, sense of humor, but that would be one that's not a Kevin.
I think
I've been to.
Yeah, I think the most unpleasant concert I've ever gone to. I might, this is again just me. Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. I went to that concert.
That was unpleasant.
I hate pop country music.
Oh, so it's a style. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and I don't like their music at all. Like, I don't have a single Faith Hill or Tim McGraw concert song on my phone. So you would say, well, why in the world would you go to that concert? It was free.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, it was free. It was a bunch of family and friends. They had a really nice suite, like the owner's suite at Enterprise. And so I went and I sat inside and talked to the bartender and ate, but it was really unpleasant. Another concert that I went to because we had that suite at the time was Rod Stewart, which, by the way, 45 to 55-year-old women love Rod Stewart. They were going crazy. And they had him on the stage.
When was this?
15 years ago.
Oh, so it's a long, I was going to say, Rod Stewart's, he's getting up there.
Is he dead?
I don't know.
I don't think he's dead.
Let's see what Answer Man says.
It was like at least 15 years ago. He was on this stage and the stage would drop down really low every few minutes and then pop him back.
He's good. He's alive. He's 77 years old.
Pop him back up. And what happened is every time they dropped him below the stage, they definitely had a little magic crew that would spray his hair and use air blowing on it to make it like fluffy again. I don't know. They had to like get his hair fluffy.
He is known for his big hair.
I know, but it was flat. So they had to bring him back down beneath the stage, fix his hair, and then pop him back up. They probably did that 5 to 8 times.
So just to fix the hair?
Yeah. Also, we were wearing the same jeans, so I never wore those jeans again. Black jeans with little diamonds on the pockets.
Interesting. All right, we'll give you the latest update from the White House on the health of the president next up on the show.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman at ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, where we buy houses direct. If you're thinking about selling, but you're not sure where you're going to go after you sign a contract with a buyer, if you sell to us, we can provide a flexible closing date for you. And once we've written a contract, we can actually adjust the closing date if you need to move it up or you need to move it back at any time. Find us at ClaymanGroup.com. and simplify your sale by closing on your timeline. KLAMEN Group.com.
Start your own Amazon business.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula seminar, and I'm now doing $175,000 in sales per month.
In 2020, Americans made $50 billion selling on Amazon. Join America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost, where anyone can learn how to start an Amazon business for only $49.99 guaranteed, or your money back. 2-hour seminar Tuesday, August 2nd at 1 p.m. for the greater St. Louis area. Register at wholesaleformula.com. That's wholesaleformula.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. During summer, be sure to use dishwashers and stoves in the evening to minimize the effects of heat. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
I'll ring you up in a second. Kim, can you see if we have more acid wash?
Desmona's thrift store is the spot for killer vintage finds.
Oh, that looks fabulous on you. Hey, can you do the register?
But her sales clerk situation feels pretty threadbare.
Oh, yeah, let me clear out that fitting room.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by conducting interviews on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. I'm not a weather guy, but I'm thinking we're going to have another hot month coming up here in July. Remember, like I said last month, if your air conditioner breaks and you do need to replace it, call me for a second opinion or even a price. You won't regret it. I won't waste your time. But if you don't call me, remember this. Do not take the cost of energy as it is right now and base it into your decision that you need an extremely high efficient air conditioner. I can assure you, as I speak right now, you will be wasting your money. You will not get a return on your investment. So don't panic. Call me, Bart Inman, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest number, and it's only one number, and there's only one Bart Inman, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or Bart Inman, that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Live and local, this is St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
All right, Davey Mark Sports and Kevin Wheeler with you here on the show on KMOX. Coming up after the bottom of the hour news, Maria Kina is going to join us. We'll get it the latest on, well, I don't know about the latest. We'll get the story, I should say, on the conviction yesterday of Stephen Cannon in the David Dorn murder. And that was fast. I know we're going to get into this with Maria in a few minutes. But, man, the trial started Monday. Conviction comes down Wednesday afternoon. Did not take a lot of time. And I'm no legal expert, but that seems pretty quick for such a significant charge.
I mean, and there was video.
Yeah,
and there's different evidence. But, yeah, on the third day of evidence and testimony, it took 3 hours of deliberation for the jury to come down with their decision.
So I don't know exactly what that means, not being a legal expert, but I've been on the juries that were longer than that and not on murder charges. I mean, they moved pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I don't know how often this happens, but I was shocked by the response of Cannon's family. Not that they wouldn't be upset that their son was charged with murder, but
convicted
with murder, that they yelled at the jury, yelled expletives at the jury, slammed the door as they walked out of the courtroom. I'm not sure how often that happens. Maybe it happens a lot, but it's pretty jarring to hear it, especially, and they yelled at David Dorn's family.
Yeah.
Ugh.
His wife did. I heard her this morning on TAM, though, saying she felt for their family. Essentially, I lost my husband. I'm paraphrasing what she said, but, I lost my husband and, they lost a brother or a son, so she actually, I mean, you talk about a classy thing saying, I feel for them too, for the family there because, they didn't do it. They weren't a part of it. And now they're suffering a loss. So I thought that was pretty, I don't know that I would be that generous, to be honest with you.
I feel like I would not have that grace. I can't imagine having
That's
that.
a good way. That's a great word. Grace.
Yeah, that grace in that situation because of the injustice your family suffered. So we'll get more details.
We'll
from
get
Maria.
details from Maria in just a few minutes. We just before the show, we see it popped up on Twitter and I started making the rounds that the president has tested positive for COVID. Of course, at this point, nothing serious. It's everybody expects everything to be okay for the most part. When you have, and especially when you have the access to those streams, like I don't think anybody panicked, did they, Amy? When Trump was president, he got it. I know at the beginning it was like, okay, he's not doing well, and we got to move him and take him to the hospital. But I don't know that there was any panic about that. And I wouldn't imagine there will be now either. But it's been an interesting couple of days for the prez.
Well, and it was our boss Steve. Well, no, excuse me. Our news director, Beth, walked in to our office while we were prepping for the show and said, President Biden has COVID.
Right.
And me, in a very snarky way, which I know sounds bad, I was like, wait, he has COVID or he had COVID? Because of his comments yesterday when he said, I have cancer. And he meant I had cancer, which he had some non-Hodgkin's melanoma. Was it non-Hodgkin's melanoma? I forgot the term now. Removed, like skin cancer. Skin cancer. And so anyway, there was just President Biden does not inspire confidence when he speaks because he messes up his words. So I almost feels like there is some type of interpretation that you have to engage in to understand what the president is trying to say.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, I think I don't know that that's particularly unusual, although he's got his own, they're all different in the ways that they mess up, right? Like I remember W was always kind of just like stepping on the joke accidentally. He was trying to get a one-liner in there and be like, oh, got that wrong. There's always that little bit of something. I guess you had that with Trump every once in a while too, but it's more regular now, right? It's been a little bit more regular with Biden where you have these little missteps or you have to send out a clarification of what he meant. I also think, though, that every time someone does something like that, we don't have to overreact. Do we?
No.
I mean, because we all know this for a fact, right? When Trump would do something goofy, say something stupid, there would be a big reaction to it. There would be up, see, and now it's the same thing. It's like, okay, can we observe? Can we have rational observations? And we can say, all right, that thing was a dumb thing to say, or wow, he really got confused on that point, without having to turn every gaffe from every president of all time into something bigger. Because that's what happened. It happened with W2. Like every time, not W2, but like George W. Bush also is a better way to put it. And it happened with him a lot because he would mix up, he would mix his metaphors and he would say goofy things. And then people were like, well, see, he's stupid. Like, okay, it doesn't necessarily mean that. People screw up.
Yes, and we live in a soundbite culture. We live in a culture that wants to own the other side with a mic drop moment. And so if you live in sound bites, you're always looking for that moment that confirms your priors or confirms your worst suspicions about the other side, or perhaps confirms something that everyone's always already thinking about the other side or your side. Let's say Joe Biden, instead of speaking in generalities. It is obvious to everyone in this country that Joe Biden is old.
Yes.
To the point that he does not seem fit right now to be running the country. I mean, I know people will say, well, he can still run the country. Maybe he can, but he's compromised. He's not the Joe Biden of the past. He doesn't inspire confidence when he talks. It's obvious that this job is taking a huge toll on him, as it would.
Oh, look at what it does to younger people.
Anybody.
Yeah.
But it was a very confusing statement.
Yeah.
And it also, he did have skin cancer, which doctors at the time attributed to sun exposure, not pollution.
Yeah, that's all odd. Again, I agree. I get it. I understand, but it feels like everybody's just trying to score points.
Yeah.
You're always trying to score points against your opposing team, and I don't know.
In my top 10.
That's a game I don't want to play.
Yeah, in my top 10 Joe Biden gaffes, this is probably not the top 10.
Dave Glover, never afraid to share an opinion.
I don't think that any group or person or candidate or party gets to claim we're the Patriots, or we love our country and you don't.
Ready to discuss issues.
We really need to have an honest conversation about that.
The Dave Glover Show. News, information, great talk, and so much more.
So if you're sick of listening to people fight about politics, if you just want to have a good time in the afternoon, give me a shot.
The Dave Glover Show. Weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com. Lombardo Homes is celebrating the grand opening of their new design studio with a silver soiree, and you're invited. Join us for the Lombardo Homes Design Studio celebration on Tuesday, July 26th from 3 to 7 p.m. Enjoy drinks and appetizers as you tour the design studio, a stunning new space showcasing the top-of-the-line interior and exterior options available in our homes. The Lombardo Homes Design Studio is located at 4 Research Drive, south of Highway 94 and west of I-64 in St. Charles. For more information, visit lombardohomes.com.
Call Zero Res today and ask for the DGS special. This month, Zero Res of STL is offering a 3-room special starting at just $119 and $75 off air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com or call 314-474-2020.
Americans are struggling, and in D.C., politicians do nothing. It's time for a fighter like Eric Schmidt. Biden's green energy policy punishing us at the pump. Eric Schmidt will fight back. Biden's big government spending sprees. Eric Schmidt will stand strong. Biden's failed agenda, driving up inflation. Eric Schmidt says no more. Fed up? Choose a fighter. Eric Schmidt, U.S. Senate. AFP Action paid for and is responsible for the content of this messaging. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AFPAction.com.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies, 85 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. In the news, officials at Fort Gordon in Georgia are in the process of notifying the next of kin after a lightning strike yesterday. Deputy Public Affairs Officer Ann Bowman.
10 soldiers were injured. One of those soldiers succumbed to his injuries.
The White House says President Biden has tested positive for COVID and is already taking the antiviral drug Paxlovid. The president is 79 years old and has been vaccinated and twice boosted. Officials say he has mild symptoms. Cahokia Heights has a new contract with police officers after more than a year without one. Officers will start around $60,000 a year. The Illinois Fraternal Order of Police calls it a good start. Albert Pujols honored last night at the ESPYs. He received the Muhammad Ali Sports Humanitarian Award. And checking the roads, it looks like we've got a stalled vehicle northbound 270 at the Rock Road. It's on the right-hand shoulder, though, so just use caution as you head through that area. The forecast, of course, it is hot, dangerously hot. We could have a heat index near or past 105 this afternoon. The actual ambient temperature is going to be near 100 today under sunny skies. For tonight, the overnight low will down around 76 degrees, clear skies tonight. Tomorrow, sunny skies, hot again, a high near 100. And then on Saturday, that high could reach 104. Currently, 86 degrees reported in Florissant. It's 87 in St. Peters, and in downtown St. Louis, we have sunny skies, 85 degrees. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
Sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Charging a cell phone can be like getting a booster shot. A booster is given to enhance or restore protection after a primary series vaccination, which wanes over time. Schedule an appointment when you are eligible. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
KMOX News Time is 10:32.
Did you have a dream last night? If not, are you sure?
Everyone dreams for about 2 hours per night.
We just don't have the tape recorder running.
Do pilots get jet lag? Are we ever going to get a hangover cure? Did the dinosaurs have feathers?
They had feathers.
Figured I'd give you that one. My name is Mike Simpson. This is what we do on my podcast. It's called I've Got Questions. Chameleons are not what you think. Beer used to be a drink at breakfast. Let's learn some stuff. New episodes Thursdays. I've Got Questions on Odyssey or wherever you get your podcasts.
54 years, Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Cottleville. Get a dozen award-winning donuts for under $10. Just bring in the coupon from the website on your smartphone. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in Florissant. Get your dozen and grab a coffee or latte today.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. That's right. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all. Also lose all the weight and let Mark Patrick hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings and lose the weight. That's right. Seminars Wednesday, August 3rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in St. Louis, and Thursday, August 4th at the 4 Points by Sheraton in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/communitybanking. Busey's community focus takes us to Edwardsville in July. I'm joined by Steve Grant, Vice President and Busey Area Manager for Edwardsville, and a Rotarian to talk about the Busey Bank Rotary Criterium Festival, a fun biking event coming this summer. Listen to our July podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/communitybanking.
I'm Stephen Lynch at Volvo Cars West County. Our inventory is ramping up, and so are the deals. Visit today for $1,000 bonus cash offer and great markdown on select 2022s. Pick up a plug-in hybrid and get a $7,500 tax credit. Come see why Volvo Cars West County is the #1 Volvo dealer in Missouri. So when you think of Volvo Cars West County on Manchester Road, 4 miles west of 270, or go online for a seamless online purchasing.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sundays at 10:15 on Sports Open Line and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show.
I'm excited for not only the club but for the fans. This is a special year for sure.
On KMOX.
All right, 10:35 on the show on KMOX. Amy Marr scores and Kevin Wheeler with you here. Chris Ronju back. I think tomorrow maybe or Monday. We're not exactly sure. He's kind of on a he's on a roll.
He's on a roll. That's exactly right.
We'll obviously get Ronj back in here very soon, though. Maria Kina is going to join us in a second from the KMOX newsroom. We'll get the latest on the verdict yesterday in the murder trial involving Stephen Campbell, who was now convicted of killing former officer David Dorn in the summer of 2020. Amy, you wanted to do one quick thing, a little bit of cleanup.
I wanted to clarify.
You guys should have seen how much this is driving Amy crazy during the break.
I sounded like a complete idiot. So if you were in your car going, Amy doesn't know what she's talking about, I hear you. That's how I felt. So I lost my notes when I was talking about President Biden, how he said he has cancer when he meant he had cancer, and he had non-melanoma skin cancer removed. I said non-Hodgkin's, which of course is lymphoma. My brain completely froze up. So in case you were trying to call in the station because you were losing your mind because I sounded like an idiot, that's why.
So now does that feel better?
I feel like 1,000,000 pounds has been lifted off my chest.
Seriously, like worried about that.
I did, because it's
a mistake, but
it was a mistake. It was my brain completely froze up and I didn't have my note in front of me. And now I feel better.
All right, good. And obviously things are more clear. Glad to have Maria Kina joining us from the KMOX newsroom. Maria, you were on this story all along, had the story on KMOX.com, and also were tweeting about it last night. But we got a really quick conviction in the murder trial of Stephen Cannon, who, of course, was accused and is now convicted of murdering David Dorn.
Yes, it was actually less than 2 hours it took the jury. They went in about 12:45 or so, and before 3:30, they came back with the verdict.
Now, with the defense, we're looking, I know there were several people looting the store. Was the defense that they didn't know who it was that fired the shots?
Well, they didn't have DNA evidence. They had video surveillance from the scene that night. There was also somebody who live streamed, actually, Captain Dorn, even to his last breath. And they showed that in court, which incidentally, Captain Dorn's widow, Anne, did not want to watch. She said she will never watch it. But they had video surveillance of the person that they said shot Dorn. And they said that was Stephen Cannon, and there was also other people there with him. And one of the people, Mark Jackson, who is going to face charges himself, but the defense was trying to make the case that he actually cut a deal with police, and that's why he was turning on his friend Cannon.
Gotcha. And with the video, there was not DNA evidence, but I know there was like distinctive clothing that went further in identifying Cannon as the shooter.
Correct. And his dreadlocks. And then there was, after the fact, there was a social media posting where initially, before the killing, that showed Cannon. He was holding two guns and he had that outfit on. But then after the killing, that photo changed and he had cut his dreadlocks.
Maria, is it at all surprising to you that this only took 2 days in total? I mean, maybe I'm making more of it because you're talking about a serious charge when you're talking about a murder charge. I'm not saying it was too fast or anything. It just seems like that. I don't know if I want to draw a conclusion from it either, but it feels like it was really quick.
It went really quick. I thought it did too. I was also surprised about the fact that they didn't have DNA, that they got a murder first conviction so quickly. Other reporters, we talked about that yesterday, were also surprised at that. And also the defense, when they presented their case yesterday, it took no time whatsoever. And I expected that to take longer because it took the prosecution 2 days to make their case.
And all of the defense happened just yesterday.
Correct. It started yesterday morning and then it was over. There was a little bit of they were upset initially in the morning because the prosecution had closed on Tuesday and they wanted to bring back another witness and do some questioning. And a judge allowed it because the jury had not gotten the case yet. So, and then after the prosecution brought that witness back and asked a couple of questions, they went ahead and defense started their closing then.
And Maria, the story is just so tragic. The entire situation. You have a retired St. Louis police captain, David Dorn, being shot at 10 times. And as it was clear in the video, he did not die right away. The video captured his final moments. His wife, also a veteran of the force. And it was reported, and you reported, that Cannon's mother, after the conviction, walked past the Dorn family and yelled "y'all" and then an expletive, calling them a name, and slammed the door to the courtroom. And then the girl behind her, I'm not sure who she was, but part of Cannon's group, gave the Dorn family the middle finger as she walked past them.
There was definitely a disturbance in the courtroom. I'm not sure. I'm not confident about the people, which was the mother and which was the sister. The judge was very explicit before the verdict was read. She said she wanted complete silence in that room, regardless of what the verdict was. She wanted no one to make any sound. And the person that went out of the courtroom, the younger lady, banged open the courtroom door. And then when she got into the hall, you could hear her screaming for some time. And there were several deputies that were around, the sheriff's deputies, and not only in the courtroom, but then also outside trying to keep calm. So yeah, it was pretty tense when that verdict was read.
Yeah, and your descriptions too yesterday via Twitter, Maria, were about just what it was overall, what you would expect, a very emotional courtroom.
Yeah.
And I thought we heard the clip this morning. I heard it on TIAM of Ann Dorn expressing sympathy for the Cannon family. And I thought that was not, I don't want to say surprising. It was just very, very impactful to me that, she knows what her loss was. She lost her husband, but she pointed out that even the family members there lost either a son or a brother or whatever, because he's obviously going to go to jail for a very long time.
That's correct. She did, because one of the questions we asked was the fact that this is not going to be a death penalty case. It was murder first, but she said she knew that going into it, and she was at peace with the fact that he would receive a life sentence.
And then when with the life sentence that has been issued and it's complete, the case is now completely closed.
His sentencing will be on September 13th.
On September 13th. Okay.
Yes. And there is the other suspect, the Mark Jackson, who still has to face charges. Obviously, they've been dropped down quite a bit. It's not a first-degree murder charge. And they never accused Jackson of being the shooter, but he was with Cannon that night. And I think one of the things that was surprising to me that came out in the court was they had intended to go looting, not only Lee's pawn shop that night, but that was what they had gone out to do. They left far North County to come into St. Louis and actually looted a couple of other places prior to Lee's. And I didn't know that came out in the court testimony.
It's just all of it's heart-wrenching. It's a horrible story, and obviously, in this case, justice moved pretty swiftly once they got into court and got the trial working. We appreciate you so much, Maria. Thank you for the coverage. Thank you for the background on all of the story as well, and we'll see you here in the newsroom some point soon.
All right, thank you, everyone.
You got it.
Thanks,
That's Maria
Maria.
Kina from the KMOX newsroom. I mean, I hate everything about the story. I mean, it feels like the dumbest thing in the world to say. I mean, you had a innocent man murdered as a part of just a plan to go looting because you could take advantage of essentially what was chaos, right? You knew that there was going to be a lot going on. You knew that there would be, what would you say, blind spots for law enforcement, and you feel like you're going to take advantage of it. And in justice being served still in these cases doesn't feel good enough because you can't take back what was done.
Right.
You can't reverse what was done. All you can do is make sure that the person who committed the crime feels the full force of the law.
Yeah, and again, just you mentioned the statement by the Dorn family and just extending grace to Cannon's family, which is so hard to put yourself in that situation. The Dorn family, they suffered that injustice, that loss of a loved one. David Dorn can never be brought back.
Right.
And then it was Christine Byers of KSDK who specified that the mother yelled "y'all," then an expletive, and that the girl behind her gave the Dorn family the middle finger. Think of losing a loved one, having to sit through that trial, then if you can, averting your eyes from the final moments of your husband, your spouse, whoever it is, dying, and then having the family of the guy, convicted, the murderer, do that to you. It's almost beyond comprehension of how you would handle that situation with grace.
I have much credit to the Dorn family and to Ann Doran. I mean, I better than me.
Yes.
I can promise you that. They handled it way better than I would have.
Yeah.
And a horrible situation for them. And I do think that they make a point, right? I mean, these are the people are emotional. Their son, their brother, their family member is now going away, and rightfully so, by the way. But I think that caring is something. I mean, really something on the part of the Dorn family.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to tell you what's trending coming up next on the show on KMOX.
Guys, I want to talk to you for a minute, man to man, about erectile dysfunction and PE. How are you doing in the bedroom? Are you still the man you used to be? Or are you feeling the disappointment of ED? Are you experiencing the embarrassment of PE? Happens to a lot of us. That's why you should call Paramount Men's Medical Center. Their licensed physicians can help solve your problem. They'll talk to you about ED or PE. They'll offer custom blended medications. There's no pain or surgery. And you'll see results right in the office at Paramount Men's Medical Center. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history. And it's affordable. So, man to man, contact Paramount Men's Medical Center now for a private consultation. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your exam is free. Call 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Start your own Amazon business.
Hey everyone, Ryan and Karen Pottinger here.
Because of the wholesale formula, last year we ran our business while we traveled to and lived in 4 different countries.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula seminar, and I'm now doing $175,000 in sales per month.
Start your Amazon business. Join Dylan Frost at the Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar Tuesday, August 2nd at 1 p.m. for the greater St. Louis area. Register at wholesaleformula.com.
This is Corey with Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Shopping around for new HVAC systems is something nobody ever wants on their to-do list. So let's help make things easier with free estimates on new equipment, up to $2,150 on Carrier Cool Cash rebates, and 0% financing for up to 72 months. With over 50 years of award-winning service, you can trust Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling with your new system install. For details and to get in your comfort zone, contact Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling at aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how?
Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Jerry Adler had their kitchen remodeled by 3-Day Kitchen and Bath and talks about the experience.
If we had only met Darren when we started doing this construction, I would have been a lot happier girl than I am now. My husband, when he heard the 3-Day Kitchen and Bath would be in 3 days and out in 3 days, did not believe me.
Did he change his mind?
When he saw that 3-Day Kitchen and Bath came in and was gone in 3 days, he found that that was the best experience we have had. Darren worked with us on our budget so that we could have the kitchen we needed without feeling like we were completely out of our league. They were professional, cared about the other part of the house. The work is beautiful. I wanted to give them the biggest hug ever.
Top quality materials and workmanship. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. On the web at 3daykitchen.com.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com. For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Did you know that one of the health benefits of swimming lessons is burning more calories than jogging while providing ease on your joints? SwimOnFoundation.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Amy Marks Course.
This is my show, my microphone.
On the show.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
All right, let's get into what's trending at the moment. A lot of fun things. I'm not going to lie. I saw this trending. I don't know what it means.
All right, let's hear it.
I read a sentence and I said, I need a translator.
Okay.
So this is trending nationally, not just, not my trending and not St. Louis, but trending nationally. Here's the sentence. BTS member Namjoon, known as RM, goes live on Weverse. And I don't know what any of that means.
Okay, I know what BTS is.
I know what BTS is. I know that.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm guessing they're talking about one of their members that's named
Namjoon, but why is he called RM?
I don't know.
And then what's Weverse?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
We have a Gen Zer.
I'm my dad.
I think we need a Gen Zer or a 45-year-old woman, because I know BTS is huge with 45-year-old women.
I so Weverse is just an app. It's
okay.
Like any other app, I guess, but it's obviously. Oh, Andrew Stoles is texting.
Yes,
Andrew is a BTS fan. He says RM is his stage name, and it's used to stand for Rap Monster, but he decided it was dumb, so he changed it to RM. Andrew Stoles, producer of the DGS Dave Glover Show. Thank you, Andrew.
My favorite part about that
I should have known that we would mention BTS, and I thought he'd come running as opposed to just text. But
yeah. Well, that's what my favorite part is, that he's down the hall. I love that. It's like a big family. Like when you're upstairs or downstairs and mom says, go get your sibling, and you just text him.
Or right across the couch. Hey, can you change the channel? Can you turn the volume up?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, don't do that. It's terrible.
All right, this one is not funny. It's a serious thing, but it's kind of a sad reflection of where we are in our political climate. The word dementia is trending. Now, I bet you can
I
guess
wonder why.
Yes. Between Joe Biden having objective manifestations of mental decline, you can argue to what degree. You can see the word dementia is trending. Of course, he used the present tense yesterday and said, I have cancer, when he had cancer. Give him a pass on that. He also now has tested positive for COVID. So again, people do not have a lot of confidence in Joe Biden's ability to lead the country. But there's another person who is attached to the word dementia on the Twitter trending. Do you know who that is?
I do not.
That would be former President Donald Trump.
Oh.
And
well,
I find it not encouraging that two of the candidates potentially for 2024, I'm knocking on wood that it's not, that we're concerned about them being at a state of mental decline. And I couldn't run the country. That fatigues me. I couldn't be a manager of this station because that fatigues me. So for a man who's in his 80s and continuing to show mental decline, to think that he would be running for president in a couple of years again, could potentially still be president in 6 years, or that Donald Trump would, this is not good.
In neither case is it good. And what stands out to me the most about this is also what irritates me the most is that this is a team sport. If I support Donald Trump, well, I'm going to pick on every little thing that Joe Biden does wrong, and I'm going to talk about dementia and he's unfit and all of this stuff. And prior to that, I wanted to defend my guy when he had to use two hands to get a drink of water out of a glass, when he had to tiptoe down a walkway. I mean, like, just can we just stop trying to be so combative all the time?
Yeah.
I mean, like, because there are legitimate criticisms of both of these presidents, and I think there are legitimate questions about whether or not you want people that have been in the game for as long as these guys have been in it, well, especially in Biden's case, to continue to be in there. I think there are legitimate questions, but it turns into this team sport where I want to pick on your guy, but don't pick on my guy, which is insane.
But the fact
It's just insane.
But the fact that both guys can be picked on with the word dementia should be concerning. When you look at Nancy Pelosi, Dianne Feinstein, Chuck Grassley, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, you sat them at a table and said, these are the people running our country. We probably, again, I'm not picking on just their age, but just, are they mentally still fit to be in their positions?
Well, my complaint is not even that, even though that is a concern. My complaint is you haven't been one of us for long enough, for too long. And that's honestly my complaint about really, really wealthy people and people who come from wealthy families. It's not about Trump, for example. It was also about the Bush family. And like, to me, if you've been removed from being a normal person for decades, I don't want you making decisions that affect all of us because you don't understand us.
Okay, that's a good point. We are going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
You are with politicians. I'm looking at Hollywood and those who've been removed from regular life for a long time.
Oh, yeah. That clearly irritates everybody, right? We don't like the fact that, somebody who's rich and famous doesn't understand, like, what's the... I never watched, what's the Jason Bateman show that was super popular? I'm spacing out on it. Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a line in there, from the mom. She's like, it's a banana. What can it cost? $10 or whatever it is. Like $5. I think it was something like that. And it's like that kind of not understanding what the real world is and not being involved in how the rest of us experience the world is what irritates me about all of these groups of people.
Like David Rose from Schitt's Creek. He's like, minimum wage. She goes, what do you think that is? He goes, I don't know, $50, $60 an hour.
Yes. That's exactly what we're talking about. We'll get into that more coming up a little bit later on. And, of course, we'll get into protesting coming up after the news on KMOX.
The homicide rate in St. Louis was the highest in the country last year.
One leader has taken on St. Louis politicians for failing to do enough to stop lawlessness and violent crime spreading toward us. Our Jefferson County Executive, Dennis Gannon. Dennis Gannon opposes the Liberals' dumb and dangerous plan to defund the police. Dennis supports greater funding for law enforcement to keep our neighborhoods and families safe. Since Biden won't build the wall and control the border, Dennis Gannon is working locally to stop illegal immigration here, ban sanctuary cities, and stop tax dollars going to illegal immigrants. Dennis Gannon's Strategic Jobs Initiative is focused on recruiting jobs away from China and bringing them home. And Dennis Gannon's a leader in transforming Jefferson County's Port Authority into a massive trade center to create jobs here. Conservative Dennis Gannon for Jefferson County Executive. Right for our future.
Paid for by Gannon for Jefferson County.
Hi, this is Charlie Brendan. Do you have a home or a business made out of stone or brick? If so, listen up, because Morelli Tuck Pointing is the masonry specialist, serving St. Louis for 31 years. Morelli Tuck Pointing can work on completely solid houses and buildings, spot pointing with color match, brick and stone repair, foundation repair, walkways, porches. This time of year, people notice that their patios are somewhat cattywampus and those bricks need realignment. How about caulking, waterproofing? Morelli is a family-owned and operated business. Longtime employees there feel like family. And of course, everyone at Morelli is very proud to be a recipient of the Better Business Bureau Torch Award, which is only given to local companies with exceptional customer service. Today, you can call to request a free and quick estimate at 314-645-1387. When it comes to bricks and stone, go to the best. Morelli Tuck Pointing at MorelliTuckPointing.com. Hey, everybody, this is Charlie Brennan for our friends, the Doctors. Greg Birdie, Ranj Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer, who are known as the Doctors because they have performed surgery on the eyes of more than 200 area doctors. And why do doctors trust Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer? These doctors have degrees from top universities. They spend a lot of time with their patients. They have a convenient location at 270 in Manchester, not to mention Sullivan and St. Peter's. And they're expert at many different disorders of the eye, including allergic conjunctivitis, which is just a fancy way of saying allergies. Your eyes become inflamed and red and itchy and watery. The treatment is available through lubricants, decongestants, and antihistamines. Probably not a do-it-yourselfer. Learn more by making that appointment today at 314-966-5000 and online at youridoc.com. I've been a patient here for more than 25 years. youridoc.com.
KMOX, KEZK, HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
This is KMOX, the trusted voice of St. Louis.
An Odyssey station.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's a sunny sky and 89 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
CBS News special report. President Biden has tested positive for COVID. CBS News White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy says the president is experiencing mild symptoms.
His doctor says the president has a runny nose, a dry cough, and is experiencing fatigue. But given that he's been vaccinated, twice boosted, and is now on Paxlovid, the White House physician says the 79-year-old president is maximally protected and is expected to respond favorably. Aides say Mr. Biden will work in isolation until he tests negative. His planned travel to Pennsylvania and Delaware today has been scrapped.
At her weekly news conference, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi reacted to the president's diagnosis.
I understand that the symptoms are light. I hope they continue to be so. That was my experience. I hope that that's the case for the president.
In a tweet, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell wrote, "I was sorry to hear the President Biden has tested positive for COVID-19, wishing him a speedy recovery." CBS News Special Report. I'm Linda Kenyon.
Testimony continues in a Florida courtroom in the penalty trial of a young school shooter.
Former Marjorie Stoneman Douglas student John Wilford testified about an encounter he had with the Parkland school shooter at a fast food restaurant after 17 people were massacred.
He asked me for a ride when I was starting to leave the McDonald's. He was pretty insistent on it, and I said no.
The now 23-year-old gunman pleaded guilty to charges including 17 counts of murder. He faces either death or life in prison. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
The U.S. House has voted to ensure access to contraceptives in the Democrats' latest stand against the prospect for more presidents overturned by the conservative Supreme Court. The bill's Senate fate is dim. The political divide is being felt door to door.
Dan Shaw, running for the Missouri Senate, had an interesting encounter attempting to put door hangers on neighborhood knobs.
One guy came out with a megaphone and just started yelling at us.
What did he say?
What did he say? He was basically, I can't say it on radio, but he was talking about the party, the Republican Party, and how we don't belong on the face of the earth.
Shaw says going door to door wasn't as harsh back in 2009 when he first ran for the Windsor School Board.
The yelling was a little different, but it's still people just being frustrated because they're not being heard.
Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
He's running in a Republican primary against Jeff Rorta in Jefferson County. According to officials and witnesses, a barrage of Russian shelling pounded a densely populated area in Ukraine's second largest city, killing at least 2 people.
The shelling comes a day after Russia reiterated its plans to seize territories beyond eastern Ukraine. Kharkiv officials say Russian forces hit a medical facility, a public transport stop, a mosque, a gym, and a residential building, also injuring 21 people. Associated Press reporters in Kharkiv say a market was also hit and saw a woman crying over the body of her dead husband. I'm Zaria Shakili.
The First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, Amazon takes aim at the doctor next.
It's the latest move by Amazon to muscle into the healthcare market. Amazon is buying primary care company One Medical. The deal has a value of about $3.5 billion. One Medical operates more than 180 offices around the country. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's down 79 points to 31,795. And there are emergency vehicles 55 south at Weber Road. Some debris 44 west past 270's got the right lane blocked. Stall 70 west past Zumble on the left shoulder. Stall 70 west before Goodfellow on the right shoulder.
KMOX AccuWeather getting up to 96 to 100 with a hot sunny afternoon. Warm down to 76 tonight, near 100 again tomorrow. And we're going to get up to 104 on Saturday. Still near 100 on Sunday before some thunderstorms likely break the heat wave for Monday, but another one could kick in on Tuesday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Justine DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Reinhold Flooring, offering an extensive portfolio of resilient flooring products, including Armstrong and Shaw, developed to provide exceptional design, durability, and value. Start your next project by scheduling a free in-home measuring consultation at reinholdflooring.com. It's sunny, 89 in Florissant, 90 in St. Peters, and 89 degrees downtown. It feels like 93. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
It's 11:05 on the show on KMOX. Amy Marscourse, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Chris Ranji is out partying somewhere. He'll be back maybe tomorrow. I don't know. It depends, I guess, on how good the party is, right? He'll be back maybe tomorrow, but if not, he'll be back Monday.
If you had to bet $100 that he's back tomorrow or Monday, what would you pick?
Monday.
Me too.
But also,
He's an awesome guy. And
also, if
yeah.
it were me in his shoes,
Yes.
it would be Monday.
Right. Friday's
Because
a weird day.
I would just kind of tie it all together. I don't want to take Wednesday and Thursday off and then come back Friday and then go back to the weekend again.
Right.
Just make it a 5-day weekend. That's what I would be thinking.
I agree.
I'll be doing something similar next month.
That's right.
Kind of bookending a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to do it all like 2 or 3 days here and then come back for a day and then go. Just make it a big block.
Yeah. I think it's way more, it feels more like a break when that middle day, if he were to come back
Yes.
Friday, when that middle day is not hanging over you, you can honestly have a better break than if it's kind of weighing on you that you do have to go back to work.
Is it wrong that we're convincing Ranji to not come back tomorrow? No,
He's
I'd
not
like to have him
listening.
back. Yes, he's having a good time. But good to have him back. It'll be good to have him back next week. But he's up celebrating an anniversary of one of our sister stations. It's the Score in Chicago, a sports radio station up there that's celebrating their 30th anniversary. And he's been a part of them at various points over the course of his career and was invited to be a part of the party. So congratulations to the folks up there at the Score, our sister station through Odyssey. All right, so Amy, you've been. I don't mean this to be silly or anything like that, but this is a topic that we're getting into that you've been hot on for a couple of days, and I'll just let you kind of lay it out because I think it's important to get into what is sensible and what is not when it comes to making yourself heard.
Yeah. So to set the table here, most people are probably aware that there have been protests at Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh's house since Roe was overturned. And I think we know that. One thing that bothers me about these protests is it might actually be illegal to protest outside the home of a judge, or a jury with any intent of influencing that person, which of course having a parade or picketing or loudspeakers, blowhorns, anything to intimidate, influence, or otherwise make that judge or jury uncomfortable could be illegal according to Title 18, Section 1507 of the U.S. Code. Moving on from the illegality of protesting outside of a judge's home or outside the courthouse, just protesting in general outside of people's homes seems to be crossing a line. It was crossing a line when protesters stood outside Lyda Cruisen's home and then threw full cans of paint through her windows. But there were other mayors. The mayor of Portland had to move. We know that the mayor of, was it Atlanta or Chicago, had to move momentarily. Lyda Cruisen had to move. Well, now Brett Kavanaugh's neighbors are being targeted by the protesters. And here's the thing. The neighbors of Kavanaugh are pro-choice. They are against overturning Roe. They are on the protesters' side. But now, because those people in their homes who are just trying to live their lives, they've got kids, they are pushing back against the protesters saying, hey, this needs to stop. Now the protesters are targeting his neighbors, his pro-choice neighbors. They're calling them Karens. They're calling them fascists. They have been using drums and megaphones to chant F you and F your children to the neighbors of Brett Kavanaugh. I don't know who these protesters think they're going to convince or win over to their side with this type of protesting. And this is, to me, grotesque. Now, Wheels, before I get your thoughts on that, we've talked a lot about the way different media outlets can cover major stories like this. So Fox News reports on this story, and in the headline it says, Kavanaugh neighbors say protesters are targeting residents, calling them Karens and fascists. It is the second paragraph of this Fox News story that points out that these protesters are saying through megaphones, F you and F your children to Kavanaugh's neighbors. Now, the original Washington Post story on these protesters, it's not until the 12th paragraph that the Washington Post points out that the protesters were using expletives at Kavanaugh's neighbors. And here's their headline: Brett Kavanaugh's neighbors for abortion rights but tired of protests. I think I would highlight the aggressiveness, the intimidation, and the expletives higher up in that story in the Washington Post than 12 paragraphs down. The Karens and fascists quote, that's 14 paragraphs down where it was in the Fox News headline. Where do you fall on that?
Well, one, I mean, there are a lot of levels to this. I mean, one, I'm not as concerned about protesting a Supreme Court justice's decisions as you are, but I do
at
not.
Their homes, at their homes.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going. Like, I don't care. I don't think there should be a problem with it outside the Supreme Court, personally. I know that there may be, and I think we should follow the law. I'm not saying break the law. I'm saying that doesn't bother me because you are one of the most powerful people on the planet. And if you're going to be influenced by people standing outside your workplace, I'm not sure I'm buying that you would be, I guess is the point.
And their job is to not be influenced.
That's exactly
right. The Supreme
right.
Court is fundamentally counter-majoritarian.
Correct.
They are not supposed to respond to polls or to public opinion
Correct.
or to anything that's
democratic. So what I'm saying is if there are protests outside the Supreme Court, I don't think it's unrealistic or in any way asking too much to say, ignore them. Just don't listen to them. Because you're not going to listen. It's not like a Supreme Court justice is going to show up to work and be like, well, those people outside there, they told me I'm wrong. I'm changing the way I'm going to rule. But they're not going to do it.
But this code from Title 18 of the U.S. Code, it doesn't specify just Supreme Court. It says judges and jurors because you understand the sacredness of a trial or a decision.
Yes, and I would expect the same thing from any judge. You should not, if you're a judge and you're going to be influenced by people outside the courthouse chanting something, you shouldn't be a judge.
But again, if you're outside a courthouse, that means, and now we're moving on from the Supreme Court, so I'm being clear here. But if you're outside a courthouse, you could also be influencing or intimidating jury members who are just everyday citizens.
Yes. And again, that is a bigger concern to me. That is not a concern with the Supreme Court, right? There's no jury there.
Right.
The jury would be the judges, right?
Yes.
So again, I think that we can have, you like to talk about nuance. You like to talk about getting into like the details. I think that's an important separation. I think that's an important fact. And I would agree that a jury member would be much more likely to maybe be intimidated or scared or nervous or whatever than someone who's a sitting judge, especially at the Supreme Court level. So I don't mind protesting the Supreme Court, even at the Supreme Court. I do not like it in their neighborhoods for two reasons. One, I'm not a big fan of, in general, going to people's homes. I don't care who they are, but also because they have neighbors for this exact reason that we're talking about, because you're not just making your voice heard to the one person in that neighborhood that you want to hear it. You are disrupting the lives of everybody else in that neighborhood. And as we're seeing here, it's pretty awful. Some of the anger directed at neighbors is completely unacceptable. And by the way, should be enough grounds to have you removed from the neighborhood.
Yes.
Should be enough grounds for you to be removed from the street that you're on.
Because that's threatening. That would feel threatening to me as, if a mother, young children.
Honestly,
they're
even
yelling
if it's
that?
not, even if you're just disturbing me, stop it. I mean, I mean, think of it this way. If a person in your neighborhood, you joked about this before with a delivery driver who plays the music too loud. If you stood outside my house and played my favorite music as loud as you wanted to 24 hours a day for multiple days in a row, I'm going to call the police and have you removed.
Yeah.
You're disturbing my home. You're disturbing the peace of the neighborhood. So whether it's and I know that it's a protest, and I get that that's important, but you need to do it where it's appropriate. You need to do it where you're not bringing people like children that are involved and not bringing them into it. Now, the other thing I want to know that I did not see in any of the stories, how many of these protesters are there? Is this 100 people? Is it 12 people? Is it 300 people? Because I unfortunately, what ends up happening is people turn this into, see, these are crazy people. Well, maybe the 12 people that are being jerks are crazy people. That doesn't mean that everybody that shares their view is them. And unfortunately, that's how things get turned. See, the crazy woke lefties are being mean to neighbors. Yeah, if it's 5 dudes doing that, that doesn't mean that everybody that agrees with them on the issue agrees with their tactic. Right?
Right.
So, I mean, there are so many levels to this, and none of them, to me, are handled properly in any of this. They should all be, we can be reasonable. We can say, maybe we should be able to let our voices be heard to the Supreme Court if we're going to be at a place where it's an official government building, right? Where you're using your First Amendment right to protest. We shouldn't be doing this in neighborhoods, in disrupting other people's lives. And in this case, even potentially even threatening people, because when you're saying blank you and blank your children, that's if somebody said that to me in front of my house, I would take it as a threat.
Yes, I would take that as a threat. Now, if you were covering this story and you walked up to this neighborhood and you saw the protesters with their drums chanting blank you, blank your children to the neighbors, and the neighbors are pro-choice, you interview the neighbors and the neighbors say, this is absolutely disrupting our lives. We have to leave our homes for long periods of time. They're calling us fascists and Karens. I have to be honest, I would lead with that. I would say these are neighbors who support the protesters' point of view. But this is what they're calling them. They're not just standing outside holding signs.
But again,
I would lead with that because to me, that's the story.
Here's but this is not reported in detail in any of these stories. Was it 5 people doing that, or was it 100? Was it 2 angry jerks being jerks, or was it a couple of dozen people singling out? Because there's a big difference between a huge crowd doing that and 3 people doing that.
The Washington Post has pictures, and it looks like from the picture maybe a dozen.
But how many of them were actually shouting the terrible things? And it's not reported anywhere, which I would like to know.
I would lead with, oof.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Nationally recognized, locally invested, UC Bank is pleased to be named one of America's best banks for 2022 by Forbes, a prestigious and humbling honor Busey is proud to deliver best-in-class service to our valued customers and vibrant communities. Whatever your financial needs, partner with an award-winning team for solutions to your business, wealth, and personal banking needs. Building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
We're all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. This summer, try some eco-friendly water sports like paddleboarding, swimming, or diving. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
I'm Nick Schroer. The woke left is trying to destroy America by taking away our rights, defunding the police, and indoctrinating our children into socialists. This is not the America our founding fathers envisioned. I'm fighting them, and with your help, we can take America back. I backed the blue 100% and fought to give police the tools they need to keep our families safe. I helped pass the Second Amendment Preservation Act to ensure Joe Biden and his cronies can't take guns away from law-abiding citizens. And last year, I opposed raising the gas tax.
Nick Schroer sponsored Missouri's pro-life trigger law, ensuring we would be the first state in the country to ban abortions after Roe v. Wade was overturned. He sponsored the Parents' Bill of Rights, which would ban radical ideologies like critical race theory in our schools. And as our state senator, Nick Schroer will protect girls' sports from boys who want to pretend to be girls. Nick Schroer, an American First conservative, paid for by friends of Nick Schroer.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED, but what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. If your home's important to you, check out my friends at Banner Construction. If you're looking for windows, you should know that Banner is a James Hardie Elite Preferred Contractor. James Hardie Fiber Cement Siding has the rich look and feel of wood. And Banner is also a Platinum Certified Pella Window Contractor. Those Pella windows are beautiful, and they come with a 30-year warranty. One of the safest investments you can make today is an exterior renovation to your home. And Banner Homes have timeless beauty, striking curb appeal, and ultra-low maintenance. If you take pride in your home, trust it to the team of experts at Banner Construction. My friends at Banner have engineered their projects to go beyond the basic low-cost solutions. That's more than 25 years of experience. And now is the perfect time to plan for this important project and do what the Brennans do. Call on the experts at Banner. They're ready to help. Call 314-569-1050 or online, bannerconstruction.com.
News, talk, sports. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
All right, you're back in on the show on KMOX. Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. It is 11:21. So this is to me, this is a fascinating story. I don't know that we have a ton of time to get to it, but I do want to spend a few minutes at least on Dave Chappelle, who had a show moved I guess it was moved yesterday, right? I mean, this was when the story broke.
Right.
I don't know if the show was supposed to be yesterday or when the show was supposed to be. Essentially, Dave Chappelle was booked at a club in the Twin Cities, in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And that club has decided not to allow him to perform there after they were pressured by, it sounds like a number of things, but it sounds primarily like it was their employees who were saying, we will not work this venue. We will not work that night. You will have nobody there working if you allow this show to go on. So they moved the show to another theater that was a couple of miles away. That is smaller, by the way. So this is potentially a significant inconvenience for people that bought tickets to go see Dave Chappelle. And of course, when these things happen, they become very big deals. And look, Chappelle has been a controversial guy for a long time. But here lately, he has gotten a lot of people riled up, right? I mean, a lot of different groups of people because he jokes about everybody.
His latest Netflix special was the special that got specifically the trans community upset.
Yes. And again, he pokes fun. I never read him as being like mean, like he means the things that he's saying. And maybe I understand how people would disagree with me on that.
Well,
when I hear him, when I watch Chappelle, and I've watched pretty much every special that he's ever done, dating back to the old days and including up until now. I haven't watched the newest one yet, but I saw the ones that led up to this newest one. And he's always been edgy, but he's definitely been edgier when it comes to things that are even remotely related to politics. He is not going to give in.
Which is the job of a comedian,
right?
To be edgy and subversive.
And I can listen to a guy like Dave Chappelle, and if there are jokes that I don't think are funny, you know what I don't do? I just don't laugh.
Right.
And then if he says something that I think is funny, I laugh at it. And you don't have to love 100% of the jokes from a comic. You can disagree. You can think they're wrong. And we don't have to say you can't go out and perform. Now, I understand this club, and I forget what was the name of the club?
Avenue.
The First Avenue Club. They sent out a really long message. I don't want to read it because it's everything that you could possibly imagine. It's like, we want to be inclusive and we want to make everybody, we wanted this to be a place where people can feel comfortable. And this is, for all of these reasons, this is why we're moving the show. We will not have Chappelle here. He will be moving to the Varsity Theater, which again is a couple of miles down the road on the other side of the river in downtown Minneapolis, St. Paul. And
you mentioned that First Avenue staff did not want to work the event.
Yes.
Correct. So I'm reading the ABC or the NBC news story, and they listed not the staff, but that there were 120 signatures on a change.org petition, which does not strike me as a lot.
It's not a lot.
It's very, very little, in fact. But that was their story, that was some of the online momentum started with the change.org petition.
And again, look, what businesses do, we talked about this pre-show, what a business like this is doing is trying to protect their own business for the long term, right? They know that if they make the people that support them angry, that they may not continue to get that support. So they make the business decision, say, okay, we're going to move off of this because of pressure, because we don't. And maybe it's not always money. I always assume that it is. Maybe that's my flaw. Maybe they did genuinely feel like, okay, we goofed here. We shouldn't have booked this artist. We shouldn't have booked this comic, and we're going to try to correct our mistake. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's just as simple as, all right, you know what? We don't want to take the hit. We don't want to take the financial hit. So, and we don't want to lose support of people that come and support our venue year round because of one date. So we're going to do it. I'm not sure which of those things it is, but yeah, you're right. 120 signatures doesn't seem like a whole lot.
Nope.
But if these are people that support you regularly and may not continue to support you, you can, as a business person, say, I don't want to risk my business over this one show.
What's interesting is, how sustainable is this? Because, again, First Avenue said that they believe in diverse voices and the freedom of artistic expression. But in honoring that, we lost sight of the impact this would have, the theater said. So are they going to vet every artist, every comedian, every performer that goes to their theater now and say, hey, is there anything that offends you? Because everybody offends someone else in some way for some reason. People find me offensive. My view is offensive. People find you offensive.
That's just my
Everyone
music.
can be offensive, right? So to show that this is unsustainable, I don't know how the theater stays in business by vetting
Well,
every single artist.
If a business wants to do that, that is their choice, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and you don't have to go to the shows there. I don't have to go to the shows there. I can say, you know what? That's your business, your choice. Do what you got to do.
It also makes,
And you're right. It's a tough standard to match. But if you're a business that wants to do it, why would we criticize that?
each time that you vet someone, it makes you more culpable, because if someone goes through the cracks or performs and you find out that, oh man, they were offensive, now you are 100 times guiltier because it looks like you approved it.
We know it's hot.
The heat. It's really hot. 100 degrees today, again.
But for how long?
Hopefully it cools off soon.
Stay up to date with this week's hot weather with KMOX meteorologist Dean DeVore in the morning.
Near 100 today, tomorrow. Thunderstorms late Sunday.
And Dave Murray in the afternoon.
Thursday, sunny, hot. Pure summer Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Summer weather forecasts. Plus the Air Comfort Heating and Cooling Storm Center when needed.
The sea wave could continue for almost 2 weeks.
Only on News Radio 1120. KMOX.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman again with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, 946-9999. We're locally and family owned, and we bought over 50 properties this year. A lot of times people are looking to sell their property as is, and maybe they've talked to another investor and didn't get a good offer, and we came in and made a better offer. Because of our economies of scale, we can usually pay more than all other investors in town and provide probably one of the strongest offers you'll get. Reach out to us today, KLAMEN Group.com or 314-946-9999.
Men, if you suffer from erectile dysfunction or PE, experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference.
I'm Dr. Schwartz. To help you last longer in the bedroom, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications with men lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And it's affordable.
Experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference. See results on first visit guaranteed or your exam is free. Call 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
We thought it was over.
Missouri Republican Governor Eric Greitens has just resigned this afternoon.
Scandal after scandal.
Already facing a felony charge, now accused of a second felony.
Now there's more about Eric Greitens.
Former Missouri governor is now accused of spousal abuse and intimidation.
In a sworn affidavit, Eric Greitens' former wife said,
I became afraid for my safety and that of our children due to Eric's unstable and coercive behavior. Physical violence toward our children, cuffing our then 3-year-old son across the face, yanking him around by his hair, a swollen face, bleeding gums, and a loose tooth. He said Dad had hit him. I wanted to protect our children because I was afraid of what Eric would do.
Scandals, felony charges, now physical abuse allegations. That's not conservative, but it's the real Eric Greitens. Paid for by Show Me Values PAC, showmevalues.org, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Show Me Values PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
At 11:30, it's a sunny sky and 90 degrees downtown at the Arch.
CBS News special report. President Biden has tested positive for COVID-19. White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The president was due to travel to Pennsylvania and Delaware today. Those plans have been canceled so that Mr. Biden can, quote, work in isolation until he tests negative. The White House says the 79-year-old, twice-boosted president is experiencing mild symptoms and is already taking the antiviral drug Paxlovid.
Infectious disease specialist Dr. Celine Gounder on the reason for the prescription given the mild symptoms.
He is over 50, so he's older, and we do see a benefit of giving Paxlovid to people who are older in reducing the risk of hospitalization. You know, this is the president of the United States. You want to minimize the risk as much as possible.
At a school in Detroit, First Lady Jill Biden wore a mask this morning. She told reporters she spoke with the president on the phone and, quote, he's doing fine, feeling good. CBS News Special Report. I'm Steve Kathan.
KMOX traffic. We've got some construction on 70 West at Cave Springs. The left lane is closed, and also some work happening on 94 going north at Prawley Lane. That's got the right lane closed. Some debris on 44 East before 270. That's in the right lane. And emergency vehicles 55 South to Weber Road. Watch out there. Debris 44 West past 270 had the right lane closed. And our forecast from Dean DeVore. A hot sunny afternoon with a high between 96 and 100 degrees today. Clear and warm overnight. The low 76. For tomorrow, mostly sunny and hot with a high again near 100 degrees. For Saturday, sunny and very, very hot for Saturday with a high of 104. the record of 108 set in 1934. And that is the air temperature, not the feels like. 104 for Saturday. Right now across the region, we've got 89 in Florissant, 92 in St. Peter's, and it's 90 degrees. It feels like 93 downtown at the Arch. Humidity stands at 44%. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Stages St. Louis season continues July 22nd with the Stages premiere of In the Heights. From the creator of Hamilton, you don't want to miss this Tony Award-winning story of family, community, and the importance of a dream. Join us for this fiery musical July 22nd through August 21st in the Ross Family Theater at the Kirkwood Performing Arts Center. 2-show subscriptions and single tickets for Stages 2022 season are on sale now at stagesstlouis.org or call 314-821-2407. It's Stages St. Louis.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now. Without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain. For only $49.99, become a non-smoker. That's right. Seminars Wednesday, August 3rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in St. Louis, and Thursday, August 4th at the 4 Points by Sheraton in Fairview Heights. Stop Smoking Seminar 8 to 10 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before seminar.
Albert Pujols comes to bat. Cardinals slugger Albert Pujols talks with Tom Ackerman Mondays at 9:50.
He hits a fly ball left field, and it's gone!
Exclusively on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
All right, so yesterday, and we touched on, what was it, a week ago, Amy, when we touched on our buddy DePfeffel, Alexander Boris DePfeffel Johnson, the guy that tries to be the everyman, the guy that is, he's got the long noble name of nobility, who's come from wealth, and he likes to play the role of the man of the people.
Them's the breaks.
Them's the breaks.
Them's the breaks.
He actually officially stepped down yesterday. Gave it wasn't a long speech by any means. It was a few minutes, but it was funny because he made it sound like he only had a few seconds. So he's rushing through it and he was thanking people and talking about the things that he viewed as achievements. And that's not at all what interested me in any of it. But what interested me was how he says goodbye.
Hasta la vista, baby. Thank you.
That's how he walked off. That was his walk-off line, his mic drop. So he went through all of these achievements, all of the things. He thanked all these people. And at the end, he was like,
hasta la vista, baby. Thank you.
As the Prime Minister of Great Britain, you know what? That was a real Winston Churchill moment for the Prime Minister.
Now, I think
he
it's
is
funny.
Continuing the legacy of great orators as the leaders of the free world.
Yeah, this doesn't.
Hasta la vista,
this
baby.
is not an anger-inducing thing for me, but it's just it's to the point of ridiculousness. We have world leaders that pick Twitter fights, that do this nonsense, and we're supposed to be adults, right? We're all supposed to be the grown-ups and responsible. We're supposed to go to work and take care of business, and yet,
hasta la vista, baby.
I mean, you're resigning as a world leader because of a scandal that you were connected to, and the way you go out is
them's the breaks.
Like, I didn't do anything. It wasn't me. This is why did this thing happen to me?
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing. And then you're going out like it's silly. Like you're the Terminator. Hasta la vista, baby. It does not anger me. It's just weird. Is it not weird that we have gotten to a place where world leaders do weird things like this, where they're, you're putting on this act like you're just some regular dude because you're not.
I think there is something to be said for the evolution of society where we don't really look up to authority that much. We resent it a little bit more. We've talked about how, your feelings, your life, your experiences, that's what matters more than anything else. We kind of worship ourselves, I think. We also kind of infatuated with celebrities. And I think politics as entertainment has become a huge issue where it's not so much policy, but it's a popularity contest. But it becomes a popularity contest because authority, because tradition, because decorum is somewhat looked down upon, at least by many of the younger population. What does a quote unquote leader do to be popular? Well, he's got to fit in. He's got to show I'm cool. I'm one of you. I want to fit in with you. I don't think they focus so much on being a leader anymore. Trying to be cool. Hey, I'm one of you. I'm Uncle Joe.
I don't know if it's about
I'm Bojo.
Yes.
That would be Boris Johnson.
Yeah, right.
But then Uncle Joe. It's this whole, we don't want to come across as authority or, heaven forbid, respectful of tradition. We're cool. We're young. We're hip. We get what you want. That's what I think a lot of leadership has turned into because culture has changed. We want to be entertained. And it's a choose your own adventure type of political landscape more than looking towards competency, authority, and leadership.
Yeah. It's so weird. Like, I feel like, it's our fault, right? People,
we deserve it.
I don't mean,
deserve it.
I don't mean Americans. I just mean humans.
Oh, I meant Americans.
It's our fault. Well, no, we are Americans, so in that way. But like in England,
they deserve it.
We all are getting what we ask for. So when people wonder, well, why does everybody watch these dumb reality TV shows? Because people want them. They keep coming because people want them. Why is everything a comic book movie? Because we all want them and we pay money to go see them. And I want some of those things too. But then we get mad that things are not the way we want them to be, but it's our fault. We can't be serious enough for long enough to pay attention to what actually matters in choosing a leader. It's been a popularity contest for the most part for the better part of 50 or 60 years.
But it's that popularity contest has, yes, we saw change with the advent of television and televised presidential debates. Those who listened to the Kennedy-Nixon debates, if they listened to them on radio, overwhelmingly the consensus was Nixon won. If they watched it on TV, the overwhelming consensus was Kennedy won. We saw the entertainment element of politics start to creep in, but it's been accelerated now, whether it is social media, our constant desire to be entertained. That's why it's not an accident that the same culture that loves American Idol and The Voice and America's Got Talent picked a reality show star to be the president. It's our Dr. Oz now wants to run for Senate in Pennsylvania, even though he's from New Jersey.
Herschel Walker is running for Senate. He walks around pretending that he was an FBI agent. He's telling crowds of people, "Oh yeah, I was at Quantico, and what are you talking about?"
What other job would you advertise your capability for the job by saying, you should vote for me because I have zero experience in this field? But that's what politics is. Donald Trump was the outsider. I'm not a lifelong politician. In fact, I've never done this. You should vote for me. That wouldn't work in any other occupation.
No, not really. Would it? Could you imagine, show it you there's an ad posted. So for example, Sports Open Line was open here for a little bit. Our buddy Matt Pauley is doing a great job in his first week here at KMOX. But if somebody had come to our boss, Steve, and said, listen, you should hire me to host this show and do Cardinals pre and post game precisely because I've never done it before.
Right.
You get laughed out of. You would never even get the call back. That email would be deleted right away. That if it was an actual letter, it would be crumpled up and thrown into the garbage. You would never even get a response. But yet for important jobs, legislative jobs that have to do with public policy, We want people that don't have the qualifications to
And that's
do
the
it.
thing. I understand you've got to start somewhere. I understand whether you're on the board of aldermen or a mayor, governor, whatever it may be. But to advertise that not only have you not done that job before, but I have none of the qualifications that would help lead me or direct me in this particular field, I'm not sure how that is a net positive, but it is. That's where we're at. Like, I'm afraid if George Clooney ran for president, I think he'd win. Because it's a popularity contest.
I guess unless the person that he was running against was more popular than him.
Right. But don't you think he'd probably have a pretty good shot?
I mean, I would love to say no. I would love to say, well, of course not.
Yeah.
Because, you know what? He's going to give good speeches. He's an actor. Of course he's going to give good speeches. That's what he's done his entire life, is memorize something and then present it to the public in the way that you want it presented, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're playing the role. You're playing a character. You're able to. So, his public speaking would be great.
Mm-hmm.
He would be convincing, even if he doesn't have the experiences necessary. And that doesn't mean that you can't have knowledge and experience and all those things. But at some point, I know this goes back to a conversation that we've had a number of times over the last couple of months. Should there be any kind of minimum level of experience or some kind of knowledge in the field, right? So, for example, you can teach even if you don't have a teaching degree. Like, you can teach in college if you have expertise in the field. If you have 25 or whatever the number is, if you have experience in the field that you're going to be teaching, that can count as a quote unquote degree. And I would understand that. So there are ways that you can be qualified, but for national office, maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. I don't know how you define it, but shouldn't there for a governor, for a senator, for a representative, for the president of the United States, shouldn't there be some expectation that there is something on your resume that says this person is qualified to do this job?
And I think because that could be a dangerous proposition, right? We all understand why, if the federal government started setting certain regulations or what they considered qualified, because again, it is subjective. As someone, I look very bad on paper, but I have a lot of different experiences because I learned on the job. So now I guess I do look better on paper. But it's what should happen is the parties should police themselves. The Democratic Party should police its fringe, crazy members. The GOP should do the same. But it's not.
Well, they can't.
Because they're afraid to lose
Because
votes.
if those people stay home, you lose.
The GOP,
because that's how close every race is.
The GOP, Kevin McCarthy, should be calling out Herschel Walker, should be calling out Marjorie Taylor Greene, should be saying this does not represent our viewpoints or our beliefs. It would be harmful to the party for these people to continue. But when the parties don't police themselves and they pander to the lowest common denominator, you start to get an explosion of incompetency and ignorance within your own party. And that's hard to step away from and to reverse.
Amy Marshcourse, Kevin Wheeler with you on the show. Coming up next, why don't we have flying cars? We were promised flying cars. I want to talk about it next up on KMOX.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great! Because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
Start your own Amazon business.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula seminar, and I'm now doing $175,000 in sales per month.
In 2020, Americans made $50 billion selling on Amazon. Join America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost, where anyone can learn how to start an Amazon business for only $49.99 guaranteed, or your money back. 2-hour seminar Tuesday, August 2nd at 1 p.m. for the greater St. Louis area. Register at wholesaleformula.com. That's wholesaleformula.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Recent impacts with inflation, ongoing COVID concerns, and geopolitical conflict have us all and the markets on edge. Heisey Advisory Group understands the importance of having a customized strategy for retirement, especially during uncertain times, to help ensure these concerns don't have an impact on your retirement. Heisey Advisory Group is a St. Louis-based, family-owned and operated holistic retirement planning firm. Our team has defined a process that puts together all the pieces of the financial puzzle, working with all of your service providers to help develop an individualized plan that grows with you as your life changes and your needs evolve. If you're not confident that your retirement plan is on track to deliver the lifestyle you want amid historic levels of uncertainty, call us today at 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
I'm Bob Jones, and my brother and I ran J&W Cycles for nearly 40 years here in our community. I learned that when Democrats are in charge, taxes went up on my business, my customers, and my employees. Now that Joe Biden is president, the dollars we do take home don't even go as far. If you vote for me, Bob Jones, as your next state senator, I will work to lower your taxes and to protect our small businesses and farms. It's your money. You earned it.
Paid for by Bob Jones for Senate.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. Busey's community focus takes us to Edwardsville in July. I'm joined by Steve Grant, Vice President and Busey Area Manager for Edwardsville, and a Rotarian to talk about the Busey Bank Rotary Criterium Festival, a fun biking event coming this summer. Listen to our July podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
It's Mark Cox. Grab your lederhosen. We're off to Bavaria, castles and medieval villages, Germany's most beautiful city, Munich, the Hofbrauhaus, and majestic Zugspitze in the Alps. We'll even see Austria. $49.49. That includes your airfare. Call 888-733-9494 or go to conservativetours.com. We'll follow the rise and fall of the Nazi Party. We'll see the Dachau concentration camp and Hitler's Eagle's Nest. I'll see you at the Glockenspiel.
Listen right here this weekend to Everyday Wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chatsky, presented by Edelman Financial Engines. Your hosts and their guests will explore how our financial decisions shape our everyday lives. For airtimes, visit everydaywealth.com.
How long does it take an adult to learn to swim? It typically takes 20 hours of set lessons. What are you waiting for? Go to swimonfoundation.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444. Chris Ranji.
Wonderful bones, great eyes, and you dress really interesting.
On the show.
All right, we have a celebrity birthday today. Amy, you pointed this out. Do you want to wish happy birthday to our celebrity friend?
Yes, can we play his birthday music?
He has birthday music? Oh, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Meet George Jetson. His boy, Elroy.
Ladies and gentlemen, George Jetson was born in the year 2022 because the Jetsons took place in 2062, which was 100 years after it was created in 1962.
That's
And
too much math.
I know. And George Jetson was 40 years old when the show debuted. And so he was born this year, George Jetson.
In the fictional world that he lived in, his birthday or his birth year was 2022.
Yes, because
so
he
then
goes
in
to a
2062.
doctor.
So I was wrong, by the way.
Oh.
My tease was wrong.
Wait, what was your
Because they said
tease?
we were promised like flying cars. The Jetsons had all this cool technology. They had machines that could make your meals. You just push a button and your meal would come out. And you had robots that lived in your
Oh,
house.
yeah.
And we're not that far, I guess, from robots living in our houses. That could be a thing here in the not too distant future. But we don't have the flying cars. But then again, it's 2062 that those things exist. So
we won't be living in space in 2062, in my opinion. I'm not a scientist.
Elon might. And by the way, he
You're
could stay
right.
there. That'd be cool.
I guess people live in space technically in a space station, but not in the sense that
We don't have
a
other
whole
planets,
civilization.
right.
Yeah.
But do we have
they were
flying
all-
cars?
They were all elevated houses. They were on
Yeah.
Earth.
Oh,
And
that's right. That's
and
right.
I think it was implied that it was because of pollution or something.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think that was implied.
No, there's another thing that from the old cartoons that went right over my head as a kid.
Do you remember where George Jetson works?
Spacely Space Sprockets.
It's exactly right. Spacely Sprockets. What's a sprocket?
I don't know.
Is it real
Answer
or made
man.
up?
I don't know.
I don't know if we have sprockets.
I think it sounds made up to me.
It sounds made up, but somewhere. And again, don't you feel like people talk about me?
No.
Are they real?
There you go. Answer man.
Okay.
It's a sprocket is each of several projections on the rim of a wheel that engage with the links of a chain or the holes of a film, tape, or paper.
Do you think there's a
A
company?
wheel with sprockets.
I bet I don't know if there's a company that makes just sprockets.
I don't know. But there is, well, here you go. There's a company called RS Components, and they have a website that says a complete guide to sprockets. So Space Sprockets could actually have been a real thing. It is sprockets are. I thought it was like widgets. I always thought it was like, people just a made up word that
yeah.
you kind of used in that.
So if you're wondering how we know George Jetson was 40, in the episode Test Pilot, which aired on December 30th, 1962, a physician named Dr. Lunar tells George to expect to live to be 150, which should give him, quote, another 110 good years.
Oh.
Yeah.
People figured that stuff out.
Well, I don't think that is simple math.
No, I know, but like I hear when I was a kid, you're watching those things as a kid. Like everything just zooms right past your head. You're not picking up a lot of the references. You're like paying attention to the details. So obviously somebody watched that as a grown person. And it's like, yep, there's a detail I want to write down.
What's interesting is the Jetsons had flat screen TVs, tablet computers.
They had the video call.
Robot vacuums. Yes.
Video
the video
calls.
call. A lot of that is pretty darn close to what this looks like now.
Yeah, and that was 2062.
Yeah.
So you think we get the flying cars by 40 years from now?
No.
You don't think?
We can't even manage the driving one.
Well, yeah, but wouldn't it
The
be
self-driving car. Sorry.
Yeah.
We have driving cars,
Yeah.
but the self-driving cars.
I don't know. Like cars have evolved over time, but they haven't evolved like in a big leap in a while, right? Like in terms of performance. But then again, we haven't really needed it. I would love to be able to jump up in the air and fly. Like just, go.
Like with a jetpack? Or
With a
just-
jetpack with a car that can do like because the Jetsons, they weren't driving really cars, right? I mean, those were spaceships. Those were little flying doohickeys.
Which was funny because as I watched the Jetsons, the beginning of the Jetsons, while pulling the audio, the little the spaceships that they fly, they look like petri dishes with a glass globe
Yeah,
over
they
them.
look like little UFOs.
They're very streamlined.
Yeah.
Looks like very little room
And they
for
fit in a
machinery.
briefcase.
That's not going to happen.
No, I would agree. That would be awesome, though. They'd be like, because they were like, that was Transformers, essentially.
And where did all the little, because the beginning of the show, George Jetson's in his spaceship. He's got the whole family in
Yep.
the spaceship.
Yep.
And then they all pop out in little pods. And Elroy goes to school. Daughter Judy goes to high school.
Yep.
His wife takes the money and goes to the mall.
How
where did all
crazy
the-
is that, by the way? I mean, talk about stereotypes of the time, too. Like, here you go, dear. Go have fun spending money.
Not gonna lie, if my husband gave me a giant stack of bills and sent me to the mall, I would not be complaining about stereotypes in that moment. I'd be like, heck yeah, I'm going shopping. Like, I don't mind that.
It's just funny.
As long as it benefits me.
Considering the time, like it's obviously a different era.
Right.
Nanotechnology is the only explanation for all those things you asked. Had to be nanotech, kind of like Spider-Man, kind of like Iron Man suits in the Marvel movies. Of course, you've probably never seen those.
I love Iron Man.
Oh,
I have
do you?
seen Iron Man.
All right, there you
Yeah.
go. Well, when it became nanoparticles that could move and shapeshift and all that, that's
Yep.
the only logical explanation.
I believe it.
I think it's real.
The following is a commercial announcement.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio.
with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text local to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
I'm Stephen Lynch at Volvo Cars West County. Our inventory is ramping up, and so are the deals. Visit today for $1,000 bonus cash offer and great markdown on select 2022s. Pick up a plug-in hybrid and get a $7,500 tax credit. Come see why Volvo Cars West County is the #1 Volvo dealer in Missouri. So when you think of Volvo Cars West County on Manchester Road, 4 miles west of 270, or go online for a seamless online purchasing.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey for my trusted friend and realtor, Gloria Liu, with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is the agent I've been recommending for years. If you are planning to sell your home in this crazy seller's market, you do not want to leave a single dollar on the table. You'll love working with Gloria. Gloria Liu will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed-to price and time frame, or she will buy it guaranteed in writing. Her secret? Well, Gloria has the buyers. Thousands of ready buyers looking for homes in your price range and in your neighborhood. Lawrence and Shelby sold their St. Louis home in just 3 days at $17,250 over asking price with multiple offers when their previous agent produced 0 results. They chose Gloria over other agents and they were thrilled with the results. You should call Gloria Liu today with any questions. 314-325-6888. 314-325-6888. It's Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. gloriahasthebuyers.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX.
An Odyssey station.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's a sunny sky at 91 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
CBS News special report. President Biden is said to be doing well after testing positive for COVID. Here's CBS News White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Ahead of this moment, White House aides have said for months that it wasn't a question of whether the president would come down with the virus, but when. Mr. Biden tested positive this morning. We're told he's experiencing very mild symptoms. His doctors have already put the twice-boosted 79-year-old on the antiviral drug Paxlovid. The president's plans to travel today to Pennsylvania and Delaware are being scrapped, and the White House says Mr. Biden will, quote, work in isolation until he tests negative.
The First Lady is forging ahead with her plans today.
She's going to continue her schedule today in Michigan. Then she's traveling to Georgia, and then tonight she will go to her home in Wilmington, Delaware. So she will be apart from the president.
CBS's Bo Erickson, the First Lady, has tested negative for COVID. CBS News special report. I'm Linda Kenyon.
Missouri drivers are seeing some relief at the gas pump. AAA is reporting the average price for a gallon of regular unleaded has dropped by 20 cents in the past week. The statewide average is $4.14 a gallon. The nationwide average for a gallon of gas is $4.44. It's almost crunch time for whether legalizing recreational marijuana will make the ballot in Missouri.
Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft says right now election officials across the state are reviewing close to 400,000 signatures. A good chunk of those could be declared invalid. The Legal Missouri 2022 initiative needs a number equal to 8% of the vote from the 2020 governor's election in 6 of 8 congressional districts. On Total Information AM, Ashcroft said the signature review ends Tuesday.
If they have enough signatures, we will put out a certificate of sufficiency by August 9th. If they don't have enough signatures, we will put out a certificate of insufficiency by August 9th, and that's generally when it goes to court.
If voters do eventually get to decide the issue, Missouri could become the 20th state to regulate, tax, and legalize marijuana. Scott Jagal, KMOX News.
Heat advisories are posted across much of the country. These people are in steamy Norfolk, Virginia.
I get really super uncomfortable and I sweat a lot.
Just playing it cool the best I can.
I hope everybody stays safe out there. Remember to drink a lot of water.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore. The good news is officially we're not in a drought yet for Metro St. Louis, but the bad news is the drought conditions that have been building to the south and west of us probably will increase, and those areas of severe and of extreme drought will get closer to Metro St. Louis as we go through the next several weeks with lack of rainfall and lots of heat and dry weather.
The First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk. Bad news for date bars.
More people in the dating game are starting their search with alcohol off the table. According to the Wall Street Journal, more than a third of people on the dating app Hinge say they're more open to going on a sober date now versus a year ago. The preference is more pronounced among younger daters. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel's up 19 points to 31,894. And we've got debris on 70 West at Grand. It's got the right lane closed. Some more debris on 44 East before 270. The right lane is blocked. Emergency vehicles 55 South to Weber Road and some road work on the right lane of 94 North at Prawley Lane.
Sunny and hot this afternoon. We may fall just short of 100, but not by much. Mid-70s tonight, up near 100 tomorrow. And then the hottest day looks like Saturday, up to 104. The record is 108. Still near 100 Sunday. Thunderstorms come in Sunday night and likely around Monday. Could keep us below 90. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Reinhold Flooring, offering an extensive portfolio of resilient flooring products, including Armstrong and Shaw, developed to provide exceptional design, durability, and value. Start your next project by scheduling a free in-home measure and consultation at reinholdflooring.com. It's a sunny sky across the region, 91 in Florissant, 92 in St. Peters, and 91 downtown at the Arch. It feels like 94. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
All right, it's 12:05 on the show. Been jumping around quite a bit today, as you would imagine. Number of stories that we've already spent a good bit of time on. We had Maria Kina in with us earlier. We had the conviction in the David Doran murder case. Stephen Cannon has been convicted of first-degree murder as well as 5 other charges. That happened. I know we touched on this briefly, Amy, with Maria. It's not stunning to me that there was a conviction here at all. I will say the fact that the whole thing took 2 days is a little surprising to me. I mean, again, no legal analyst. I from seeing murder trials covered before, from having been on juries for things that are less serious, that have lasted longer than that, I'm a little surprised that it was only 2 days from the opening of the case and to the conviction, especially, and I didn't really kind of connect this, but when Maria mentioned that the prosecution rested Tuesday.
So it was on the third day,
right?
That the conviction.
Right. It was Monday and Tuesday was opening arguments, the prosecution making their case, and that the defense was only Wednesday morning.
Yes.
And then that was it. And then 2 hours later, less than 3 hours later, we had a verdict.
Yeah.
I don't know if that says anything, but that's the part of the whole thing that surprised me. Based on the reporting of the story, didn't surprise me that there was a conviction in the case. Didn't surprise me. I didn't hear anything in the case that was seemingly shocking, but that was awfully fast. And being the non-expert, the non-legal analyst in this, that seems to tell me that evidence is pretty strong if you've got a jury that's that quick on a really, really serious charge, right? Like they were convinced pretty quickly.
Yeah, I don't know if that means anything, if you read into that at all, if how uncommon this is. It did seem to strike me on the quick side, but whether or not you just comparatively speaking, I mean, just because, like you said, trials tend to take longer, even if they
Well,
seem
especially-
pretty clear cut.
Especially a serious one. I mean,
A serious
it's
one.
a murder trial, right? It's not just a regular, I mean, I don't know what I would call regular, but murder's as serious as it gets.
Yeah.
Like typically, I haven't done any research on like how long is the typical murder trial, but I bet it's more than 3 days.
Yeah, I don't know that you read anything into it. So I am glad that the family of David Dorn feels that justice was done. We talked about the gracious words from David Dorn's family extended to the family of Stephen Cannon, who was convicted of murdering David Dorn. I was shocked by Christine Byers' report on Twitter at Christine D. Byers that Cannon's mother just yelled, "Y'all," and then an expletive as she walked past Dorn's family and slammed the door to the courtroom against the wall. The tweet continues, "A young girl behind her gave the Dorn family the middle finger as she walked past them." And I just think of the emotions that you would have in that situation. When you're wronged, you understand the phrases like making your blood boil. When you suffer an injustice of that magnitude, I can't imagine how you're able to maintain your composure and extend grace to the person and the family of the person guilty of, in many ways, if not destroying your life, taking the life, robbing the life of a loved one, taking that from you, and inflicting just insurmountable, or not insurmountable, just an incredible level of hurt. Now I'm stumbling over my words. So I'm glad the trial is done, this part of it. I
Right.
know
Sentencing will be coming up in September. it sounds like?
September 13th. Yeah.
So that'll be coming up later on. We had a few other things that we've hit so far. We had our trending segment earlier, and trending was sponsored by Old Town Donuts in Florissant and Cottleville. And the one thing we didn't get to in that, because we obviously were talking about something that was a little more serious, you hit on the dementia was trending. And of course, that relates to politics, and we touched on that. There was one that was a little lighter we didn't get a chance to get to, which was the trend today. The hashtag that's trending today is things couples fight about.
Okay. Did they give examples on this?
Some of them I would rather not get into.
Wait, on a personal level?
No, they're just topics that probably not the greatest on family radio.
Oh.
Things about sex lives, things like that. But there were other things that were a little bit funnier than that. There are a few of them, things like when you're having an argument, somebody mumbling something under their breath, probably normally the guy, like at the end. And the one thing was what were they fighting over? Is what did you say?
What did you say?
What did you say? Which I think would, as somebody that doesn't do that, my wife and I, we don't fight. We don't do that.
Yeah, and I've never heard you mumble.
No, that's really, that's a good point.
That's not the argument against you.
If I'm going to say it, I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
But a couple other ones that were common in the trend, things that couples fight about. One was whose fault is it? Which of course, but that wouldn't be just a couples thing. That would be, I think, anytime you're with another person, like, is it your fault or Ranji's fault that something goes wrong?
Sorry, yeah.
Well, it's your fault or Ranji's fault, just not mine. But there were things things along those lines. The other one was I think this was one that probably had the most traction, was putting the seat down.
Yeah,
the seat down is a major source of conversation, at least early. I think I got trained up pretty good early.
I think so. I think my brother and obviously my dad, because growing up, there were 6 of us in the house, 4 girls, 2 boys. Never was the seat left up. Like never, ever, ever, except for one time. And I don't know if it was because my brother had a friend over and I did fall in the toilet. And it was like the one time that the seat was left up. But I think my brother, my dad, they never left the seat up. So that's why this one feels foreign to me. I understand it's an issue, but yeah.
Yeah, apparently. I mean, it took a while. I mean, it took me a while. I'm not a fast learner when it comes to things like that.
Oh, really?
But here's one I think that is interesting, because I think this is a thing that I cause anxiety over. Not anxiety. Like I cause this problem.
You
and
cause it?
Yeah. So it's things. It's the hashtag is things couples always fight about. And one of it's this one said how long 30 minutes is, but I would just say how long any given period of time is. My definition when I say just a minute might mean a minute, might mean 20 minutes, might mean a half hour. Because when I say that, I don't really mean a minute. I just mean when I'm done with what I'm doing, which I probably should say. Like instead of saying, "Yep, I'll be in a couple minutes.
You're
I'll be
trying
good."
to be encouraging at that point.
Sometimes it's just the first thing that comes to mind. It's like it's almost a rote answer.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to start dinner? All right, yeah, a couple minutes. I'll be in the middle of video game. Yep, I'll be good in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And a couple minutes turns into 15 or 20. And again, this is totally on me. This is not this is not anybody else's fault. I mean, my wife will once in a while be like texting me. She'll text me a question and I'll say, "Yep, couple minutes." And then I look down and my phone buzzes again and it's like 20 minutes later and I just go, there's a question mark like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, my bad. I should have said when I'm done with this as opposed to just a couple minutes.
Here's how I interpret these phrases. When I say in a minute, that means probably sometime today.
So you're kind of like me then.
Well, in a minute, yeah, means sometime today, but there's no way of knowing at what point today, but in a minute means sometimes today. 5 minutes means 20 minutes and 20 minutes means almost an hour.
Really?
For me.
Yeah, I'm terrible about those things. I mean, I am. I can't even imagine having to like cope with like it's not laziness. It just my brain works in a weird way. Like when I say something like just a minute or a couple minutes or yep, I'm almost done. That doesn't always mean the same to the person that I'm talking. Not just my wife. This could mean this is like my buddies.
Right.
My just to try my dad. Crazy.
Sure.
When I was a high school and college age dude, I would say that kind of thing to my dad, and he'd be like, he has no patience. So he would be like 3 minutes later. You said a minute. I'm like, I didn't mean it literally.
Right.
I just meant, hold on, like, wait, and maybe I should communicate better. But I can see time, because usually it's guys complaining, right? Like, she takes too long to get ready, that kind of thing. Like, that's a guy complaint. I think the other version of that is we don't always conceptualize what we're saying time-wise the way that we should. We're not specific enough.
I thought of another one.
What's that?
So, in a minute means at some point today, but there's no telling. It could be hours and hours and hours.
Man.
5 minutes, it's 20 minutes. 20 minutes is almost an hour. But 1 sec, if I go, 1 sec, that means 100% I'm going to forget about it. Completely.
Wow.
Like, not even kidding. If I go, 1 sec, that means in 1 second, I'm going to forget about it. I don't know. I don't mean to. I literally in my head think the next thing I'm going to do is that. And of course, 1 second is not true. Otherwise, you would never qualify it. If you were going to do something in 1 second, that's as quickly as you can respond.
Yeah, just a sec.
Yeah, so that obviously does not mean 1 second.
That's kind of along, and we'll finish on this. It's kind of along the lines of when you're walking by somebody in the hallway and when you're, instead of just saying, hello there, because that seems weird. Why is it weird to just say hello? If I walk past you in the hallway and I just said, hello, Amy, and that's all I said.
I would think that you were saying it ironically.
I know, right.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, hey, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
How's it going? Like you say those, you don't really you're not really asking the question, but you're saying those words.
Yeah.
You're not really asking for an update on how everything's going. It's just kind of a quick way of saying hello, but saying hello by itself seems weird.
Yeah, it does. It seems
Walk
formal.
past and go, hello. you think I was a psycho.
I would.
If I'm walking by, I'm going to do that now. I'm going to go do that to somebody from DGS and say hello.
Hello.
And just not say anything else. Hello. Think it's weird?
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit weird too. All right, stick around. Coming up next, well, we've been talking about how people live in different worlds. I tend to focus on people in power. And we're going to talk about people that don't have power but have influence next on KMOX.
Well, the fine folks over at STL FenceWorks, they have been serving the St. Louis, the St. Charles, the Franklin, and Warren counties for over 50 years. Back in 1971, when Russ and Carolyn Long opened STL FenceWorks. And now their son, Sean Timothy Long, he runs the company, Sean Timothy Long, STL FenceWorks. Now you know that when you work with them, you're working with a company that is locally owned and operated and family owned and operated and has been for over 50 years. And because they've been here so long and have been so successful and their products are known as the very best, they are the #1 fence and deck contractor in the state of Missouri. And they've been able to leverage that position to make sure that in this time of supply shortages, material shortages, supply chain issues, that they've been able to keep in stock on hand more fence and deck materials than they've had at any other time in their 50-year history. That means when you order a project from STL FenceWorks, you can rest assured that it will be done in a timely manner by an experienced craftsman with a lifetime warranty that surpasses anything else offered in the industry. That's right, a lifetime warranty. Visit them today at stlfenceworks.com.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Jay Leno and Jeff Foxworthy, two legends, one historic night. Friday, November 18th, The Fabulous Fox. Tickets on sale Friday at metrotips.com.
Biden and the radical left that controls Congress broke the national bank. They unleashed the inflation monster, which broke into our homes and smashed our family piggy banks. Bidenflation now costs you $460 more every month. It's a Biden failure tax that hits the poor and middle class hardest. Our Congressman, Blaine Luetkemeyer, is fighting to fix what Biden broke.
We can get America back on track. First, we have to stop Biden's runaway spending of money we don't have to bring down inflation. We have to end Biden's war on American energy and return to energy independence. That will bring down gas prices, and we build that wall and re-secure the border.
Our Congressman, Blaine Luetkemeyer, is fighting to fix what Biden broke. Blaine Luetkemeyer is one of us, leading for us.
I'm Blaine Luetkemeyer, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Blaine for Congress.
Guys, I want to talk to you man to man about erectile dysfunction and PE. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer custom blended medications that have men lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history. See results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your exam is free. Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Donate your car to Goodwill and get 4 free tickets to Six Flags. Ride the greats like the Screaming Eagle or hang out at Hurricane Harbor. Donating a car to Goodwill is easy. Towing is free, and you'll get a tax receipt. For more information or to donate online, visit mersgoodwill.org. Use promo code Six Flags. Hurry while supplies last. Give hope. Give local. Give Goodwill.
With Wholesale Formula Seminar, discover how to start your own Amazon business.
Hey, I'm Rick Manello. 2 years after attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I was able to sell my Amazon business for over $400,000.
Hi, I'm Amy Sherlock. I attended the Wholesale Formula Seminar to learn how to work from home while raising my son. Today, I do $175,000 in sales per month.
Hi, Ian Bauer. My first year averaged $45,000 a month in sales. Now I'm at $90,000 a month and hardly working.
Hi, I'm Hillary. Before attending the Wholesale Formula Seminar, I was a school teacher. Today, I work from home selling products on Amazon.
Whether you have a business and want to sell more on Amazon, retired or need extra money, America's Amazon expert Dylan Frost will show you how. Only $49.99 guaranteed or your money back. That's right. Discover the easy way to make money on Amazon with Dylan Frost, the Wholesale Formula 2-hour seminar Tuesday, August 2nd at 1 p.m. for the greater St. Louis area. Register at thewholesaleformula.com.
Serving St. Louis for over 96 years. KMOX.
All right, we got our Redbird Report coming up in a couple of minutes. But first up, we're going to hit on topic. Amy, Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. And a topic that we've hit on before is kind of how, and from my angle, it's always been kind of how people in power, people in politics are too often just so far removed from us living in kind of the regular day-to-day world, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to call it the real world because what they live in is real. It's just not ours. It's not the same as the vast majority of people.
Oh, that's funny. That's very honorable of you because I say they don't live in the real world.
Yeah.
I say they live in a pretend world.
It's real, but I mean, it's real for them, but it's not real for regular people, for the vast majority of people that inhabit this planet. Well, it's not just people in politics and business that are like that. It's not just wealth, although some of it is wealth. There are also people that are famous that kind of live in their own reality. And actually, I want to play this clip because this sets it up really well. Ricky Gervais, of course, talked a bit about that. Which awards was this? The Oscars?
This was the Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes, which is always a little more raucous.
Oh, yeah.
And him basically making the point that we're going to get into.
Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show, a superb drama, a superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China. So, well, you say you're woke, but the companies you work for, I mean, unbelievable. Apple, Amazon, Disney. If ISIS started a streaming service, you'd call your agent, wouldn't you? So if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God.
Well, that clipped off fast. Yeah, we couldn't play the part that he said there.
That's right. And again, that was a couple
Basically,
of years
it was,
ago.
and go away.
That's exactly what he said. And I loved that so much because it was the most cathartic awards monologue I've ever watched, because he just called out these Hollywood celebrities who take themselves so seriously. They would zoom in during the talk of Tom Hanks, grimacing, shaking his head as if, oh, this is beneath me. I can't believe he's making fun of us and all the great work we do. But the thing is, these people are removed. And I would argue, Wheels, that it's impossible to be that wealthy, and especially to be that wealthy for any length of time, and to not feel removed from the public. Have you ever been, maybe you had one experience where you were upgraded to the little captain's club at the airport?
Last night, VIP tickets for
There you
Zombie.
go. Or you got to go.
I felt special.
You felt special. Or I went to a hotel and then they treat you really special for whatever reason. Maybe it's work, but they treat you really nicely. And all of a sudden you think, wow, is this how these celebrities live? And you immediately get used to it. My friend who was with me at one time when we were just treated like celebrities at this hotel, again, totally not related to us, but just out of the kindness of their hearts. She goes, what I should feel is, wow, I don't deserve this. Why are you setting me apart? And she goes, instead, I feel, yes, this is how it's meant to be. I should be treated like royalty. And that was just us having a goofy little moment for one evening at a hotel, or like you sat in the VIP suite. If everything you do is VIP treatment and special treatment all day, every day, you can't help but have a distorted worldview. Well, Kylie Jenner, is going viral for a bad reason. Apparently, they have air receipts that she is taking minutes-long flights across town to avoid traffic. So she got on her private jet for a 3-minute flight to avoid a 40-minute car ride in California. So she's taking this jet on a 3-minute flight to avoid traffic for 40 minutes. And we've seen the private jets. And yet these same people so often are lecturing us about use paper straws because the planet is dying, and you people, you need to choose how you're going to save the planet. Meanwhile, they're jetting off across the world on every whim, jetting to France to pick up a $60,000 purse. I just think if Hollywood celebrities, why we take them seriously with anything they say about politics or policy or a healthy lifestyle or a climate change is beyond me, because they do live in a pretend world. It's not and that's me saying that they live in a pretend world. It's not real.
Unless they agree with us, and then it's okay.
Well, I'm just talking about us in this room. No, I mean, and I will say this.
Because nobody gets mad at the famous people that they agree with. Nobody's like, I agree with you, but shut up because you live in a different world.
How many, I mean, I guess you could argue that. I think it's no secret that Hollywood celebrities are overwhelmingly more progressive. It's just the way it is. The vast majority of them are. You can name a couple of conservative famous actors, I guess, but it's not even, so to me, it's less of like, you agree with me, because I think most of us know where most Hollywood celebrities lean. It's less about that and less about politics and more just about anything they have to say. Like when they talk about fitness, their whole job is to be fit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they talk about Blake Lively is the most beautiful woman. She had a nose job, a boob job. She has a chef. She has a personal trainer. For her to lecture us about what we should do to be fit, to me, is extremely out of touch. Or parenting advice. This is what I did. These people do not have anything in common with us on a day-to-day basis other than the fact that they breathe air.
So we believe this, though, not just for people that are actors and actresses and musicians, but also business people that have the same kind of wealth and influence and all those things too, right? That's the same thing.
I think if you're living a certain lifestyle, that is catered to your every whim, don't go telling the single mom who's working 2 jobs, hey, lady, this is what you need to do to be beautiful. No, you give her money. That's what would help her.
We know it's hot.
The heat. It's really hot.
100 degrees today, again.
But for how long?
Hopefully it cools off soon.
Stay up to date with this week's hot weather with KMOX meteorologist Dean DeVore in the morning.
Near 100 today, tomorrow. Thunderstorms late Sunday.
And Dave Murray in the afternoon.
Thursday, sunny, hot. Pure summer Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Summer weather forecasts. Plus the Air Comfort Heating and Cooling Storm Center when needed.
The sea wave could continue for almost 2 weeks.
Only on News Radio 1120. KMOX.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, 314-946-9999, 946, all nines. If you just inherited a property and you're not sure what you're going to do with it and you want an as-is sale, please reach out to us today. Especially with probate cases, we do a lot of work with the probate courts and we're very familiar with the confusing process. So if you have a house that you want to sell fast, maybe something that you just inherited, please reach out. Phone number is 314-946, all nines, ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN, 946-9999.
The Biz Dash is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. St. Louis City SC's all-new Centene Stadium is the site of this year's Biz Dash, and participants will get a chance to see it up close. With music, food, drinks, and more, the Biz Dash is the ultimate office party. Thursday, September 22nd at Centene Stadium in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
I want to thank all my customers and the listeners and the referrals that we've been receiving. The referrals we receive are phenomenal. They're actually, it makes my heart happy. I have seen in the company has experienced phenomenal growth and enormous amount of calls the month of June. I would like to believe that's because we're just like the number one company. We did take a vote, but we're actually number one because I asked 15 of my employees to rate us on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best. They all gave the company a 10. I mean, you might be thinking, well, they don't want to lose their job. I don't roll that way. So here it is. It's Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, Missouri and Illinois. Or Bart Inman, that's I almost forgot. It's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
At 12:30, it's sunny and 92 degrees downtown at the Arch. COVID-19 has hit the Oval Office.
The White House says President Biden has tested positive for the virus. His doctor says the president has mild symptoms, mostly runny nose and fatigue, with an occasional dry cough that started last night. Dr. Kevin O'Connor notes the president is fully vaccinated and twice boosted and is now on the antiviral drug Paxlovid. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president will keep carrying out all his duties while in isolation. It's the 79-year-old president's first positive test. He seemingly defied the odds until now, even after the virus swept through Washington's political class. Sagar Magani, Washington.
We've got some debris on 70 West at Grand. It's got the right lane closed. We've also got some road work that's happening on 70 at Cave Springs. They've narrowed some lanes. Weather sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. High today between 96 and 100. Overnight low 76. Tomorrow sunny and hot with a high again near 100. Then Saturday a high of 104. The real feel much above that. Right now it's sunny and 92 downtown at the Arch. It feels like 95. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers and important decisions should not be based solely on advertising.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
With Pedal the Cause, you can make a real difference in the fight against cancer. Ride your bike, grab a spot in the spin zone, volunteer, and join the celebration September 23rd through 25th. 100% of participant-raised funds support innovative cancer research at Siteman Cancer Center and Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Together, we can create a world without cancer. Get started now at pedalthecause.org. That's pedalthecause.org.
We've all heard the quote before. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. We send career politicians or people with no life experience to the Capitol, and we get more waste, more spending, and more excuses.
August 2nd is your chance to send businessman and community leader Bob Jones to the state Senate. Bob Jones isn't running to be a career politician. He's already had his career. Bob Jones and his brother ran J&W Cycles for nearly 40 years. Bob Jones understands that families and small businesses can't survive with Biden's out-of-control inflation and Democrats wasting our tax dollars. Bob knows that to keep our communities safe, we must fully fund our police. He's been endorsed by Missouri Right to Life and has the highest possible rating from the NRA. And as a businessman, Bob Jones knows that we need to be making products right here in America, not in China.
No more waste. Control the spending. No more excuses.
Paid for by Bob Jones for Senate.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
It's the Cards and Reds Friday night. Hear it here. Emerald pregame show 4:45. First pitch 5:40 on KMOX and streaming on KMOX.com.
The pitch by Ueno. Albert is hit high and deep. A home run for Harrison Bader. Yadier Molina has homered. Double play. It's a big fly for Albert Pujols. A home run in the first inning for Goldie.
This is the Redbirds Report.
All right, so no baseball tonight. Cardinals get back after. I should say no Cardinals baseball tonight. There is some other baseball tonight as they get back going for the. I always get caught up in the nonsense of this. It's the second half of the season. Not technically the second half because we've already passed the halfway point, but the post All-Star portion of the schedule starts for the Cardinals tomorrow night as they take on the Reds in Cincinnati.
It's still the second half.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
we
I mean,
past the halfway
yeah,
point.
yeah,
We're
I know.
stuck in the second half until it's over.
It's just one of those things. Like it's like when you say it's the start of the second half, somebody be like, "Game 80 was like a week and a half ago," and you're like, "All right, thank you, appreciate the correction." Anyway, they resume baseball activities. The Cardinals do tomorrow night in Cincinnati for Game 1 of a 3-game weekend series. We don't have anything. There's obviously been no big news. We talked about the All-Star game yesterday. Albert Pujols was honored this week with the Muhammad Ali Award for off-the-field works for the Pujols Family Foundation. That's awesome. Been a great week for Albert. I mean, it's I thought Manny Machado of the Padres raised a really good question a little while back. Is basically like, Derek Jeter had this big going away thing. Every city he went to, they were bringing out gifts, and there were these big celebrations everywhere. And Manny Machado was like, "Why isn't this happening for Albert Pujols?" And I don't think there's any question. And I know this sounds like a bias because I covered Albert in St. Louis, and I know other baseball people that agree with me on this, though. Derek Jeter was nowhere near the impact player that Albert Pujols was.
Right.
Derek Jeter is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest shortstops of all time. He absolutely deserved to be first ballot Hall of Fame, but his impact on the game from a performance standpoint was not as good as Albert's has been. Albert's has the better career.
Mm-hmm.
Albert has the better career. That is the end of the sentence. That is a fact. Now, Jeter has the mystique because he was a Yankee. He was part of a Yankees dynasty. So he was in the postseason every year, won a bunch of World Series. So I get that. But I thought Manny Machado made a great point when he said this, a little while back. I think it was a month and a half ago. That, why aren't we doing more for Albert? Why isn't this a bigger deal? This is one of the greatest hitters of all time, and he's retiring at the end of the year, and he's not getting the same treatment around the sport that other greats have in their farewell tour, if you will. I think some of it is that Albert's a part-time player, right? I think some of it is that he is clearly a diminished player. Even in his last year, you could say Jeter was clearly diminished, but he played every day. He was the everyday shortstop for the New York Yankees. So maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe it's just kind of the weird transition that it's been for him, like going from the Angels to the Dodgers for a short run and then back to the Cardinals. But I'm happy that it's starting to happen more on the national showcase side of things, right? He gets the home run derby moment where not only does he advance and he gets a little extra time in the sunshine, but you got all the players gathered around him to celebrate him. There are a couple of the young guys. Juan Soto, we'll talk about him in a minute, but he was bowing to Albert. Like, he got that moment of recognition from his peers in a very visible way. He had his moment in the All-Star game. He's obviously received the award this week too. So I'm happy that that's happening. And hopefully the rest of the way, this is a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Because he is one of the greatest hitters ever to play this sport.
It's not easy to hit a home run, even in a home run derby. How impressed were you? And I know people say it's the All-Star game, a home run derby, it doesn't matter. But just as a party trick, at the very least, the fact that Albert beat Kyle Schwarber in a home run derby, went as deep as he did in the home run derby, it's not easy.
What's not easy, like any one of these guys can go in batting practice and hit a home run pretty much anytime they want. Doing it 20 times in 4 minutes. and I don't think people really recognize. I think if you watch, you can kind of tell. But the fatigue factor, because you don't ever do that. There's no time in baseball where you sit there in a 3 or 4 minute window and swing as hard as you can or hard enough to hit the ball out of the ballpark 25, 30, 35, 40 times in that short amount of time. It's tiring.
Yeah.
And you notice it's not a coincidence that the young dudes are the ones that keep advancing. There's the 21 and the 23-year-old that advance. And Pete Alonso, who was the back-to-back winner before this year, guy's in his mid-20s. So it's a lot harder thing to do the older you get. It's like everything else, right? Everything else. The older you get, the harder it is to do. What Albert did was really hard to do.
Yeah.
And you could see that it was work, that it was difficult. So no, hitting one is like, for those guys, it's like whatever. They can hit a home run anytime they want in batting practice. Just give them a few swings. They'll get one of them. But doing it like that repeatedly is really hard.
Yeah.
It's physically difficult. It's tiring.
Now, obviously, the pitches aren't coming at the same velocity as they would during the game. But does that mess up a major league player's swing at all for when they transition back into
You're talking
real
about the home run derby itself?
The home run derby itself.
That's always a worry. Like, people talk about it every year.
It would mess me up.
Some
I don't
players
play baseball, but it seems
some
like
players have said it, right? Where they had really great first halves. They did the home run derby and they felt like they felt like it messed them up. There have been others that had no impact on. Like, it didn't impact Pete Alonso as an example. It didn't change anything. So I do think it can impact a player if that player has to change what they normally do to hit that number of home runs in a competition. But I'd be more worried about physical problems like sore obliques or, like forearm soreness that lingers because you're doing something physically that's a lot harder to do than what you normally do.
You're having a great season at Miami. You are one of their top hitters.
A great season at Miami meant I got 2 at-bats.
But let's say you're one of their top hitters.
I wish.
And you go to a hypothetical college all-star game
Yes.
in the middle of the season.
Yes.
And you are hot right now.
Yeah.
Do you do the home run derby?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not worried?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Although that's not shocking that you're not worried.
No.
You don't. You
I
have
don't
no fear,
tend
you
to
have
worry. No, I
worry.
don't tend to worry.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, again, it's a hard thing to comprehend because I never played at the level where you're playing literally every day for 6 months. Well, not literally, but figuratively. When you're playing 27, 28, 29 days a month.
Yeah.
So you're playing every day, basically. I never had to do that. I can't speak to the wear and tear or the challenge of doing that. But when you get the opportunity to be amongst your peers and be celebrated like that, it would be hard to be turning down. I think
Yeah.
I think most people, unless you've done it before, some guys have done it before, they don't want to do it again because they've done it already. But there's a challenge about it. Look how excited those guys were.
Mhm.
Look at how Juan Soto celebrated winning the home run derby. He was fired up, man. It wasn't just like, oh, good, it's over. I mean, he was excited. These guys, they like the competition. Certainly, you're on the big stage. You know that the sports world is basically watching you in that moment. So yeah, I think a lot of people are driven by that kind of that edginess, right? That willingness to compete, because it is these guys compete at everything.
Yeah.
Like, that's how they are. They're just wired to compete. So yeah, I think you would. Some people don't do it, but I think mostly it's people that have done it already.
Was it Jim Edmonds? I thought there was a Cardinal that bowed out one year.
Could have been. I mean, I don't blame anybody that does, because again, people don't put enough emphasis on the physical difficulty of what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just batting practice, because you're swinging hard. You know, you may not be swinging 100% on every swing, but you have to swing hard enough to hit the ball out of the stadium, out of the ballpark.
There are,
And you don't do that in batting practice. You don't
No.
sit there and take that many swings in that short amount of time. Usually you take like 8 hacks, 9 hacks, and get out of the cage,
Mhm.
and you just take turns going through so you don't wear yourself out.
I always think of things, and then when you get back to the Redbird report.
No, that's
but
what this is.
I do think of things that make me more tired than they should and that are harder than they should be. I don't know, Wheels, does Susan, your lovely wife, does she decorate a lot? Does she have, like always kind of changing things up with pictures or shelves?
Yeah, I mean, that's an area I stay out of. She's
Okay.
very good at it.
If
She'll
you-
change it by the season and things like that. Yeah.
Any husband or kid or spouse, whatever, who has held up pictures on the wall
Yeah.
or shelves.
Oh, I do that. Yeah.
Isn't that one of the hardest things that you do in your life? It's fatiguing. You're not going to get this, but you're looking at me like
That's
I'm
not
crazy.
one of those things. I mean,
I
don't get
can-
me wrong. You can feel it. Like you're starting like,
No.
okay, I don't want to hold this here anymore. But no, it's not the hardest
It's
things.
one of the hardest things. I would rather run 20 miles or climb a mountain than I remember just being young and my mom having us hold up pictures or hold up shelves or curtains and try to keep them straight. At any rate,
Here's the thing that's harder: getting your stupid Christmas tree up the stairs.
wait. Well,
It's just an awkward.
real or
it's-
fake?
It's a fake one. I don't store a real tree in my basement.
Well, I didn't know if you were carrying your live new Christmas tree upstairs, or why don't you disassemble
Because
your
when you
Christmas tree?
I do, and it's still a pain in the butt. Now, like the top piece is small, that's easy, but it's the awkwardness of the shape.
Mhm.
It's I don't want to scrape my walls.
Yeah.
I don't want to bang anything into my shins. Like it's not physically difficult. You can grab it and move it. It's just the turning and the awkwardness of it, or like moving big boxes up and down stairways or furniture when you got to go up and down stairways. Those are the worst.
314-436-7900 if you have any thoughts on these difficult, mundane tasks. But yes, I would say the fatigue factor of the home run derby is something that stands out to me.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, go out and you think about it, like running a 100-yard dash doesn't sound hard, right? Well, do 10 times in a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Tell me how tired you are then.
Mhm.
Like when you cram activity together, when you do it in a smaller amount of time,
Mhm.
it becomes a lot harder. If you lift weights, have you ever done that? If you say, all right, you have to bench press 200 pounds and you have to do it 20 times.
Yeah.
If I say you have to do that in 2 minutes, that's a different thing than saying you have an hour to do it.
Oh, honest to goodness.
It's the same idea.
Yeah. And another one of the fatigue factor, which you as a catcher appreciate, is the squatting, up and down. I think as a Protestant going to a Catholic church, you're down and up and down and up and you're on your knees.
It's not that many times.
It feels like a lot of times.
It's not that many times.
But
It's like
I'm
2 or 3.
Is this how catchers feel? But it's also
Yeah, not close.
But being a catcher would be exhausting to me.
It takes some work. Yeah, it's one of the things I admire about Molina and all the innings that he's caught over the years. So Cardinals again off tonight, back against the Reds tomorrow. I know everybody's buzzing about Juan Soto trade rumors and all that. I don't think we're anywhere close to that kind of a thing happening yet anywhere in baseball. We'll talk more about tomorrow whether or not that's something that Cardinals fans should be holding out hope for. Do you trade for this star or not? It's going to be it's a multi-layered answer to a multi-layered question. It's just going to take a little extra time to work through.
If you've been waiting for the perfect time to get your Missouri medical marijuana card, today is the day at 420id.com. Dispensaries are open and inventory is in. 420id.com is a BBB accredited business with over 16,000 happy Missouri patients. If we can't approve you, you pay nothing at 420id.com. Open late every day until 9 p.m. Sign up for your Missouri medical marijuana card now at 420id.com and use promo code RADIO for $30 off today.
At Busey Bank, we understand you have a vision for your future, and we're committed to helping you achieve your dreams. Since 1868, we've invested in recruiting and retaining the best and brightest associates. Busey's unique culture is one that values and supports you, provides opportunities for growth, and is much more than a job. It's a career. Build relationships, build community, and build your career at Busey Bank. Member FDIC. Equal opportunity employer.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Also stop smoking with Mark Patrick. No matter how many times you tried to quit, this hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminar Wednesday, August 3rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in St. Louis, and Thursday, August 4th at the 4 Points by Sheraton in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
We thought it was over.
Missouri Republican Governor Eric Greitens has just resigned this afternoon.
Scandal after scandal.
Already facing a felony charge, now accused of a second felony.
Now there's more about Eric Greitens.
Former Missouri governor is now accused of spousal abuse and intimidation.
In a sworn affidavit, Eric Greitens' former wife said,
I became afraid for my safety and that of our children due to Eric's unstable and coercive behavior. Physical violence toward our children, cuffing our then 3-year-old son across the face, yanking him around by his hair, a swollen face, bleeding gums, and a loose tooth. He said Dad had hit him. I wanted to protect our children because I was afraid of what Eric would do.
Scandals, felony charges, now physical abuse allegations. That's not conservative, but it's the real Eric Greitens. Paid for by Show Me Values PAC, showmevalues.org, and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Show Me Values PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Stephen Lynch at Volvo Cars West County. Our inventory is ramping up, and so are the deals. Visit today for $1,000 bonus cash offer and great markdown on select 2022s. Pick up a plug-in hybrid and get a $7,500 tax credit. Come see why Volvo Cars West County is the #1 Volvo dealer in Missouri. So when you think of Volvo Cars West County on Manchester Road, 4 miles west of 270, or go online for a seamless online purchasing.
Hi, this is Steve Butts at the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. This year marks our 60th anniversary serving our clients and friends, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norbert Butts. As your local independent insurance agency, we've been proud to represent many fine carriers such as Safeco, Travelers, and Progressive. So please give us a call for all your insurance needs. 314-752-2500 or crawfordbutts.com.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near and dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight, or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from thegelmanteam.com. If you need to sell your home to buy a new one, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator that you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman on your side fighting for every last dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Learn to swim this summer and stay cool with Swim On Foundation through group and private lessons. Schedule today. For information, go to swimonfoundation.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Amy, Chris, and Kevin.
The greatest radio talk show host ever.
Now, more of the show.
It's a show on KMOX. Amy Mark Scores, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Rons will be back. He'll be back at some point. Maybe tomorrow, maybe
We
Monday.
don't really know.
Bronze will be back here at
Yeah.
some point.
It's a loose return, we're not sure.
Yeah. We didn't. This is an interesting thing. We there are two things I want to touch on here. These are both these are both directly sports related, but we didn't have time in the Redbird report to hit them both. But I want to hit quickly on the fact that St. Louis is the center of the trade universe in two sports right now.
Yes, we are.
The Cardinals obviously are heavily rumored by people outside of St. Louis. I want to be clear about that. I haven't seen anybody here report that there are conversations happening between the Nationals and the Cardinals, but there are a lot of people saying that the Cardinals would be a team that fits when it comes to a Juan Soto trade. And they're right in that regard. I mean, the Cardinals are not a low revenue team. They are a high revenue team. Long term, they should be able to handle a contract of the nature of what Juan Soto is going to ask for. But keep in mind that 13 years and $450 million was turned down. It's too low. And his agent, Scott Boras, was saying this week that basically they want the highest annual average value combined with the longest term. He didn't say it that directly, but when he was talking about the reasons why the Washington thing fell through, he was really getting into that average annual value being too low. He said that the AAV was more like in the 10 to 20 range as far as major league players, like ranking 10th, 10th, 15th, 20th. And he feels like they should be more at the top of that spectrum. The thing is that nobody in baseball thus far or lately has gotten the top end of the spectrum along with that really long term of 12 or 13 years. And this is a young player, so it would be a long-term deal. Anyway, I don't know that the Cardinals want to do that kind of contract, but they are capable, right? That's the industry belief. They're capable of that kind of a contract, especially with revenues going up as baseball moves along, and other contracts will come off the books, right? Eventually, Yachty will come off after this year. Waino will come off eventually. Goldie's only got 2 more years. So that's about the time that you would have to have the extension in place. Anyway, a lot of people think the Cardinals are well positioned from a prospect standpoint to trade for Soto as well. I think it's a lot. Like there's just a lot that goes into this money-wise that makes it potentially not a Cardinals move, because the word is that the Nationals want to attach their bad contract. Patrick Corbin's a starting pitcher. He's awful. He's one of the worst starting pitchers in baseball, but they're paying him $25, $26, $27 million a year. They want to offload that deal as a part of trading Juan Soto. In other words, if you want this great young player, you need to take this thing too. Oh, and we want a historically good prospects trade in return as well. They're trying to maximize all this. All of that combined is what I think is not really a Cardinal type deal. Like taking on a bad contract, giving up elite prospects, and then going and having a player that you need to give $500 million to eventually.
That all sounds very anti-Cardinal.
I'm not even saying I wouldn't do it, but it's not my money. I would do it. I mean, I'm like, yep, he may be the best offensive player in Major League Baseball, and he may be that for the next 10 years. He's amazing. So it's not that they can't do it or shouldn't do it. I just don't think that it fits. Because, again, they got Arenado, but they got Arenado with the Rockies paying some of his contract.
Right.
That's more of a deal that they would make.
If you could make that deal, this is an impossible hypothetical, but it guaranteed that you would win the World Series this year.
Done.
But you would not win for another 15 years and would probably struggle to be competitive.
The Cardinals would definitely say no.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do that. They're not going to make a deal that compromises their ability to be consistently good.
Would you
because
do
their
that?
philosophy is not for 15 years.
Yeah.
If you said you could win, you would definitely win the World Series this year, but then you'd go at least 10 years. I'd do that because you don't win it. You don't win but every 10 years anyway. The Cardinals are the second winningest franchise in the history of the sport. They have 11 World Series victories.
It's been 11 years.
And they average one about every 10 years.
Yeah.
And you look at the history of the franchise, not exact, but averaging it out, it's about one every 10 years. That's pretty normal. I would accept that. 15 or 20 might be a bit much to accept. On the hockey side, the Blues are the center of the NHL trade universe because of Matthew Tkachuk.
That's right.
He's not going to sign with Calgary. He is obviously going to be traded. They're not going to just let him walk at the end of the year. And now would be the time to move him. And of course, he grew up here. Obviously, Keith played for the Blues, and both of the Tkachuk boys grew up here. Not to mention the fact that the Blues are a team that's in a window where they want to win now.
Yep.
Right? They're not in a window where they're saying we want to win 5 years from now. They're like, all right, we're in a pretty decent spot. We got a lot of veterans, guys under contract. We can win right now. And let's be honest, they got to keep up with the Avalanche. And getting an elite player like Tkachuk would certainly elevate the top of your roster.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the difference between the Blues and the Avalanche, it really is the top of the roster. The Blues are just as deep as Colorado, maybe even deeper. They might have more quality players. But at the very top end, the top 4 or 5 guys, the Avalanche have the advantage there. And it's part of the reason why they were able to knock them out of the last 2 playoff series.
And it's interesting how different this team is from the team they were in 2019. Like, not just the players on the roster, but the way they're structured. They're not that heavy hitting team. Wear you down team. They're lighter. They're faster. They're more goal scorers. Even the structure of their salary cap is fundamentally different. So it's almost like the further you get from 2019, that was the earthquake. You won the Stanley Cup. Then you had some aftershocks. This might be a completely different quake at this point.
And I'm going to make everybody mad, but I don't think either trade's happening. Sorry, everybody. Not trying to be a bad guy, but just what I think.
The Stages St. Louis season continues July 22nd with the Stages premiere of In the Heights. From the creator of Hamilton, you don't want to miss this Tony Award-winning story of family, community, and the importance of a dream. Join us for this fiery musical July 22nd through August 21st in the Ross Family Theater at the Kirkwood Performing Arts Center. 2-show subscriptions and single tickets for Stages 2022 season are on sale now at stagesstlouis.org or call 314-821-2407. It's Stages St. Louis.
Lombardo Homes is celebrating the grand opening of their new design studio with a silver soiree, and you're invited. Join us for the Lombardo Homes Design Studio celebration on Tuesday, July 26th from 3 to 7 p.m. Enjoy drinks and appetizers as you tour the design studio, a stunning new space showcasing the top-of-the-line interior and exterior options available in our homes. The Lombardo Homes Design Studio is located at 4 Research Drive, south of Highway 94 and west of I-64 in St. Charles. For more information, visit lombardohomes.com.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pine View Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
The Fed rattled the market again this week as interest rates continue as the cost of goods and services.
The cost of goods and services. What does that even mean? And do you really pay attention? But your next trip to the grocery store.
Yo, lady, you seen the price of grapes lately?
Tell me about it.
Costs go up and the power of your monthly income goes down. That's inflation. Steve All at the All Financial Group can help you build guaranteed income in retirement to keep pace with inflation. Call 636-230-8824 today for a complimentary portfolio review. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
I'm skipping the grapes this week.
Me too.
The price of grapes might surprise you. Don't be surprised in retirement. Call 636-230-8824 today. Investment advisory services offered through All Financial Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuity products offered through Stephen All, Missouri license 8039738.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
An Odyssey station.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 1 o'clock, it's a sunny sky and 93 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
CBS News special report. President Biden tests positive for COVID-19 and he tweets, quote, "I'm doing great. Thanks for your concern." A picture indicates he's working using phones and Zoom. CBS's Major Garrett says his symptoms are being called minor.
The president's going to have to isolate. He's going to have to completely reassess his workflow, and he can't engage directly with anyone in the White House for some number of days, probably at least 5.
Reaction to the health news from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
I understand that the symptoms are light. I hope they continue to be so. That was my experience. I hope that that's the case for the president.
She had COVID back in April. Infectious disease expert Dr. Celine Gounder says Mr. Biden is taking the antiviral Paxlovid.
He's not somebody who has heart disease, diabetes. He's clearly not obese. Those are some of the big risk factors for severe COVID, and he really doesn't fit any of those.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Steve Kathan.
This just in, NBC News is reporting that the Department of Homeland Security's internal watchdog is opening a criminal investigation into the destruction of Secret Service text messages on and around January 6th. Have you noticed more roadway debris and litter, trash, shredded tires?
Seems like it, doesn't it? I mean, we're still picking up trash and debris, and I can measure it in tons, the number of hours that we pick it up, all that kind of stuff. And it looks like at this point in the year that we're picking up more tonnage and spending more hours on it.
We've reached out to MoDOT District Engineer Tom Blair says there is a customer hotline you can call, but like everybody, MoDOT is struggling to keep workers. They have a 20% vacancy right now, and Blair says that lowers the productivity. The House January 6th committee will hold its final summer hearing in prime time, focusing on what Donald Trump was doing during the Capitol riot.
They'll highlight what happened between this.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
And this.
Go home. We love you. You're very special.
187 minutes during which panel Vice Chair Liz Cheney says the president did nothing to stop the violence he had stoked at a rally.
For multiple hours, Donald Trump refused to intervene.
Despite pleas from lawmakers, White House aides, and his own family. Panel member Adam Kinzinger, who will help lead the hearing, says the president instead gleefully watched the riot on TV. The hearing will include live testimony from 2 White House aides who resigned after the insurrection. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Later this afternoon, Missouri's governor holds a press conference at the Capitol about helping farmers and ranchers as a drought continues.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore. The good news is officially we're not in a drought yet for Metro St. Louis, but the bad news is the drought conditions that have been building to the south and west of us probably will increase, and those areas of severe and of extreme drought will get closer to Metro St. Louis as we go through the next several weeks with lack of rainfall and lots of heat and dry weather.
The First Mid Bank and Trust Business Desk, the Blue Oval, is charged up.
Ford says it secured enough battery supply to build more than 500,000 electric vehicles annually by late next year. Securing enough batteries to build millions of plug-in models has become a key competitive background in the emerging EV market. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel is up 41 points to 31,833. We've got a stall 70 west past 141 on the right shoulder and 44 west past Arsenal, also on the right shoulder. Weather is sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company.
Hot times with plenty of sunshine on this Thursday afternoon, moderate humidity, but the temperature jumps to about 95. Slightly cooler than yesterday. Tonight, clear skies, 72 for the overnight low. Friday, sunny, hot, increasing humidity Friday afternoon, 99 to 100 degrees. Saturday and Sunday, partly sunny, hot, and humid. Each day close to 100, though Sunday could bring a couple of limited spot thunderstorms. I think they'll be hard to find. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Penn Mutual believes that life insurance is the central part of a sound financial plan. It can make an enduring impact for generations to come. Talk to your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. Penn Mutual, trusted for life. Sunny and 93 in Florissant, 94 in St. Peters, and 93 downtown at the Arch. It feels like 96. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
All right, 105 on the show. Amy Marscour's Kevin Wheeler with you here. A little bit later this hour, Amy's got one of her friends joining us from Switzerland.
Yep.
Flavio Pellegrini is going to join us to give us an idea of just how crazy it is there. Like the things that we deal with pretty regularly in the summer with weather. And, you know, we're in the beginning stages of what's going to be one hell of a hot streak, right? I mean, it's going to be over 100 degrees today. It looks like it's going to be that every day for the next 3 or 4 days, and then
I
maybe
think-
like a light break, and then back to it
Yep.
again after that. So it's going to be hot for a while, but we get these stretches at least somewhat regularly in St. Louis,
It's
right?
somewhat cyclical with
may
the
not be-
super hot summer.
Right. It may not be every summer, but this is not the first time we've
Mm-hmm.
had this kind of a run. I probably had this 2-3 years ago. You had a run like this. It's smoking hot. But what they're dealing with, where Flavio is in Switzerland, is almost unprecedented.
Yeah. Well, you were the one that brought to my attention that airplanes are sinking into the melting asphalt on the runways
That was
over in
in
Europe.
that was in England. I don't remember if it was anywhere else, but yeah, I mean they don't make the asphalt the way that we do because they don't need to.
That never occurred to me.
Right. Like there were planes that are sinking into the runway.
That
They were
seems
joking
bad.
that they were melting into the runway.
Yeah.
Either way, melting, sinking is a bad thing. So we're going to get a firsthand account of what it's been like over there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're going to continue to follow other big stories. We've been jumping around a lot of serious stuff today. But it's there. I mean, it's kind of what it is, right? I mean, you got the president testing positive for COVID. We had a couple of interesting. Well, we had the verdict in the Dorn murder case that came down. So we've been a little bit on the more serious side today, but that's going to be that way sometimes when you're covering news, and we're going to kind of be that way here. Amy, I don't know if you want to set up. We know
Sure.
we have Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City. If you want to set up this
Yep.
story, this is a cluster bomb, right? Like what you're about to set up. This is not good.
No, there's no easy answer for it. And what we know is that we have a humanitarian crisis at our border, at our southern border. In May, the United States had 222,000 apprehensions for people illegally crossing the border. That was an all-time monthly high. Now, it did drop a bit in June to just under 200,000 people. But I mean, when you look at the millions over the past couple of years of people who have illegal crossed the border, and then Border Patrol is completely overwhelmed. And of course, it's a humanitarian crisis because in the vast majority of cases, these are people who are seeking asylum, who are fleeing persecution and horrendous conditions. We also have an overwhelmed Border Patrol trying to deal with drug traffickers who are taking advantage of this situation of a border that's being overwhelmed. Well, you're also having migrants being bused to different parts of the country. And this specific story involves a lot of finger pointing. So the New York City Mayor, Eric Adams, is demanding that the federal government help pay for what he says is a wave of asylum seekers pouring into the city. You have lots of migrants being bused to New York City from the southern border because where are all of these people going to go? Now, he blamed both the governors of Arizona, the governor of Texas, and the federal government for busing these people to New York. Now, the governor of Arizona and the governor of Texas said, well, we are putting migrants on buses, but we're only busing them to Washington, D.C., to where the lawmakers are. So they're saying we are putting them on buses, but they're only going to Washington, D.C. The federal government is busing people from the border to New York City. And now the shelters in New York City are being overwhelmed. And so Eric Adams is saying, listen, we can't keep accepting this influx of people. And those at the shelters are blaming Eric Adams for blaming the migrants. And it's become something of a mess. So here's the audio of Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, addressing the situation.
This is a real burden on New Yorkers as we're trying to do the right thing. We already, as I stated, we already have an overburdened shelter system. So now we're talking about, as you stated, food, clothing, school. This is going to impact our schools because we do not turn away individuals because they're undocumented. Translation services. There's just a whole host of things that this is going to produce, and that's why we need help in getting this done, and we need the right coordination to make it happen.
So again, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, Arizona Governor Doug Ducey have said we have put some migrants on buses to Washington, D.C. The federal government is the one busing them to New York. And Eric Adams is saying we are completely overwhelmed. I don't have an answer for this situation other than we need to somehow figure out our border.
So, yeah, this, first of all, that whole thing was like word salad, right? Like we're going to send them here, but then they're going to get sent there. It was almost like an Abbott and Costello routine. Like nobody knows where anything's supposed to go. Right. And it's not funny.
Yeah.
And there is no simple solution to it. You're right. There's no like, just do this and you can solve the problem. And I am even referring to, yes, a wall is not going to solve every problem. It can help, with the immediate flow if you're going to ever do it. But again, you can't forget that how much of the country is bordered by water and how people go around and over and do all that. And here's the question. Here's what it is. It's just like what we've talked about with our homeless problem, not just in St. Louis, but in the country. What does it take to solve the problem?
Yeah.
Lots of money. Lots and lots and lots of money. And I don't just mean taking care of people, helping people, moving people, also creating solutions that makes people want to stay where they are. Like, I mean, if you're in the position, if I'm in the position where I'm not safe, my family's not safe, I'm leaving. If I can't find a job, if I have no way to make money, I'm leaving that place. Even if I have to do something crazy and travel across, multiple countries to get someplace else. How do we get to the point where that's not necessary? And it's not necessarily our thing to fix by ourselves, but we do help with things all over the world that are in our interest. They may not be our problem, but fixing them can be in our interest, like what we do with Ukraine.
Well,
we're helping them because it's in our interest to help them.
We have poured a ton of money into Central America, but that is such an overwhelming task that we have to fix our border first. Yeah, we can try to make conditions better, but I mean, you can't control other countries. It's just, it doesn't work that way. And it's not even like we have a bad policy at the border that needs to be fixed or be improved upon. We don't have a policy. And what bothers me is this is a true humanitarian crisis.
Right, because people are going to flee danger. People are going to flee poverty. They're going to do it. There is the negative impact on us, right, on the country. But you're right that you have to figure out how to keep it from just people are. I mean, look how dangerous it is. With this kind of weather too, when you add everything together, on top of the regular, the normal political impact that you have. You do have the humanitarian element here.
And people are desperate, right, to save their families' lives. And my heart goes out to those people, but there has to be an orderly system. It's even if you, let's say you scale it down where you have a house, maybe you have an extra bedroom or two, you've got your family, and people are starving outside or are fleeing persecution, you would want to welcome people into your house, but obviously you could not welcome
fit everybody, right? Yeah.
And if you promised to fit everybody and you could not accommodate them, then you are not only misleading them, but you are creating a crisis where people are on top of each other. They're fighting for resources. They're trying to break the rules, and you've compromised the safety and health of your own family. So there has to be order, and that order also has to include empathy. What we can't have is 200,000 interactions every month with people illegally crossing the border and hitting customs and border patrol. And I guess, like I said, the empathy argument for me is, remember how we all freaked out when we couldn't get toilet paper. We had toilet paper and thought we couldn't get enough, and you had people shoving each other in the store. Imagine you're fleeing persecution. You're fleeing
drug
violence.
gangs.
Rape and kidnapping of your daughters. We freaked out over toilet paper. These people are trying to save their families, so we have to have an enormous amount of empathy, but we also do have to have order, because you also have to continue to protect the safety and continuing of law and order in your own country. It's a mess right now. We don't even have a bad policy to criticize. We have no policy.
What would I mean, this is beyond either of our pay grades, but what is even a reasonable first step?
I know.
Because you can say, all right, well, because I know the answer, I'm hearing it in my head from a lot of people, including family members. Finish up, build the whole wall across. All right, how many years is that going to take? How does that fix anything right now? How do we deal with what's happening right now? That is, again, it's just like all of the other problems that we deal with, is that it requires significant financial resources. And there are certain things that we have the stomach for. There are certain things that we don't.
And once we, and
people say haven't.
And we bump up customs, border patrol, and they make the apprehensions. But then what do you do
Well-
with all those people? I mean, so now we're busing them all over the country. It's a true humanitarian disaster.
And I don't see a good. I mean, put it this way, if there was a good answer, an easy answer, one that covers all the bases, we'd probably have heard it from somebody, right? There are parts of answers in all of these things, but there's no whole answer, and that's why it's such a frustrating
And I
topic.
wish politicians would stop using it to score political points when there's no action.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hello, this is Dave Walker, former Comptroller General of the United States. The federal government has grown dramatically, promised too much, lost control of its budget, and must restructure its finances in order to create a better future.
I agree, Dave. This is Ken Heisey from Heisey Advisory Group, and you're invited to a special event on Thursday, August 25th. Dave and I will talk about our country's financial issues and how they may impact your retirement. Learn why it's critical to take action now and discover strategies that can help protect your future. If you've saved at least $750,000 for retirement, call 314-328-4400 to register for this special event. After a decades-long mission to promote fiscal responsibility at all levels of government, you won't want to miss what Dave has to say. Call 314-328-4400.
Dave Walker is not affiliated with and does not endorse Heisey Advisory Group or AE Wealth Management, LLC. Heisey Advisory Group may not provide tax advice and is not affiliated with the U.S. government. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Seminars Wednesday, August 3rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in St. Louis, and Thursday, August 4th at the 4 Points by Sheraton in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
Men, if you suffer from erectile dysfunction or PE, you can call other clinics and hope for the best. Or you can experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference. Their licensed physicians offer treatments that have a 98% success rate, regardless of age or medical history. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Schwartz. If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications with personalized care. Even men who have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And it's affordable.
Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, schedule a private consultation to experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference. See results on your first visit guaranteed, or your consultation is free. Call 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
If you're planning to sell your St. Louis area home, now may be the best time to capture the highest sale value before the market changes. This is Debbie Monterey, and according to industry experts, the real estate market has shifted. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty agrees, and she has options to help every type of home seller because she understands that every situation is different. If you need to sell your home quickly, but you're worried about finding your next home, Gloria has your answers and solutions. Gloria has an instant cash offer program that gives you above market cash offers, no showings, no hassles, and you pick the closing date even up to a year, giving you the cash and time needed to find your next home. Call Gloria Liu and ask her about the instant cash offer guarantees or other options that will help you sell fast and for the most money. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888. It's Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria has the buyers.com.
The following is a commercial announcement.
Your local radio stations are here for you. No subscriptions or monthly fees necessary. We're here to give you the news, weather, and traffic you need, and the music you love. But if the foreign-owned record labels get their way, it could stop the music. They want Congress to force radio stations to pay them more money, simply to play their music. Don't let radio go silent. Text LOCAL to 52886 and tell Congress to protect local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadiums, city and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5290 $297 or visit spark-stl.com.
Connect with KMOX on air, online, 1120 a.m., 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip.
All right, you're listening to the show on KMOX. Today, that is Amy Marsgors and Kevin Wheeler. Ron, you'll be back with us tomorrow or Monday. We have Amy's friend Flavio Pellegrini joining us from Switzerland via Zoom here in a few minutes to just give us a first-person account of how this type of crazy heat that we're dealing with here in St. Louis, how this is so much different when it hits people in Europe. And we'll let him describe it. We don't need to describe, in advance what he's going to tell us. But I mean, the first person account makes it, I think, pretty telling. Like it is a completely different set of circumstances.
And kind of a fun connection because I know Flavio because he lived in St. Louis for 4 years, I believe, because he works for Purina's parent company, Nestle.
Oh, okay.
So over in Switzerland, where the headquarters are, and he has, as people do within their company, move around. He spent 4 years in St. Louis here at Purina, and now he is working at Nestle back at headquarters at home.
And work is a part of the conversation too. People are handling work a little differently, in part because of the way things are there with the heat that they're not used to handling, and that we handle on a pretty regular basis. All right, so Amy, we talked. I don't remember if we did it on the air or if we just did it in the office, but we talked about same-sex marriage, and it's been on those things. It's been on the list of things that people are worried about since the decision came down on Roe v. Wade. Could that be next? Could that be something that is brought to the Supreme Court and they end up sending it back to the states like they did with Roe?
Right, and that Obergefell, which is same-sex marriage, that decision, would that be reversed the way Roe was reversed?
Could it? Right, that's been the concern, that would be one of the things next on the list. So, amazingly, people in Congress are taking action. So the House passed a bill on this that would codify it, that would make it a law, that would protect it from even having to be for anybody to have to worry about whether or not it would be challenged in the Supreme Court. And now it has to pass the Senate. So I saw an update yesterday on this, on the numbers are what they need. What they need are 10 Republicans in the Senate to vote yes on this, to codify same-sex marriage so that it is something that people do not have to worry about moving forward.
Right. They would need 10 GOP senators joining all 50 Democrats.
Right.
And so far, 4 Republican senators have either said they'll support or will likely support the House-passed bill. 8 Republican senators so far have said they would vote no, and 16 Republican senators so far either are undecided or didn't indicate how they would vote.
Do you think it goes? Because I saw a couple of different analysts say they think it actually has a really good chance.
Mine is, I think it goes.
Yeah?
Yes. Because I would be shocked if it did not, because the overwhelming support and consensus bipartisan across the country is in favor of same-sex marriage being a federal right.
I know this is a different setting than the Supreme Court, but a lot of people felt that way about Roe as well and had a similar majority. Now, again, it's not something that's up for a vote here. Do you think that if you tried to codify it would be the same, even though 2/3 of the country wanted that to be upheld? They wanted Roe to stay the way that it was, the Roe decision to remain as it was originally decided.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you saying if they tried to codify Roe?
Well, I don't think it would get this far. Do you?
Oh, no, I don't think it would get this far. But also,
so how is, and I guess the question really becomes, if the general public is actually in favor of both of these things to a similar percentage, right? It's close.
Oh no, far more people are in favor of same-sex marriage.
So it's what, more like 75, 80%?
I would say even
it's like
higher than that.
2/3 on Roe.
Because think of this. There are no GOP politicians that I've seen at all that are running on a platform over the past few years of, I am anti same-sex marriage. I've never seen that at all. But I mean, they hang their banners on being pro-life and the national right to life. They're I'm sure, of course, we know there are people out there who are against it. But what I'm saying is, as a political platform, it's not even close. Those Republican politicians who say, I am proudly pro-life, none of those guys are saying, I am proudly against gay marriage. Not that I've seen in the past few years, because the cultural consensus has shifted so far on that, and there's so much bipartisan support across the country.
And I don't want to compare the two issues, okay? I'm not trying to do that. I'm just looking at the idea of what is publicly popular, what the majority of people agree upon, or what they think, right? So what number constitutes a safe number of people that support it that would make it more politically appealing? Because as you said, the same-sex marriage is more popular amongst the people.
Or, more generally accepted.
More generally accepted than being pro-choice.
Right, because those who are pro-life, right, see one as hurting, taking the life of another person, where same-sex marriage is two consenting adults saying we want to get married.
Right, which is why I'm not comparing the two things. I'm saying, at what point does the majority opinion matter? Right? I mean, if 2/3 of people say that they are pro-choice, politically speaking, pro-choice, maybe not in favor of the procedure itself, maybe not wanting it for their family, but saying it's not the government's issue, that this should be a personal choice, the pro-choice side of it. If we have 2/3 of people that believe that, what's the threshold for that then being the standard, as opposed to?
Yes, the number would be the Democratic number, or meaning like democracy. The number of people matters when those people vote in, right, in all of their respective jurisdictions, representatives who feel that way. That will eventually shift, but politics is always downstream from culture. The political change happens after the mass cultural change in many circumstances.
Good point. We're going to check in with what's going on overseas with the heat and people going back to work or not because of the heat. Get to that next up on the show.
Dave Glover, never afraid to share an opinion.
I don't think that any group or person or candidate or party gets to claim we're the patriots or we love our country and you don't.
Ready to discuss issues.
We really need to have an honest conversation about that.
The Dave Glover Show. News, information, great talk, and so much more.
So if you're sick of listening to people fight about politics, if you just want to have a good time in the afternoon, give me a shot.
The Dave Glover Show. Weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Inflation is the highest it's been in 40 years. Lots of financial uncertainty out there. And joining me now, Steve All from the All Financial Group. Steve, you say that people are worried about this and they are calling, asking for help.
You know, that's probably the biggest question that we have right now. Jim and Joanne, they call and they said, you know, we've got about $650,000 saved for retirement. We're 65, 67. And we have that fear about, will we run out of money in retirement? And can we keep up with inflation? So we brought them in. We did the analysis for them. And when we started to look at their risk reward, they were almost predominantly in cash because they just have a great big fear of the market. And the idea that when we got back and actually did it, they are like other people that they're going to go broke safely because they're not willing to take some risk with some part of their portfolio. We don't need to be 90% invested, but we need something in the quote stocks to give us that rate of return that can keep up with or succeed and go ahead of inflation. So we kind of looked at it and said, okay, what other things are available? What will give me a bigger return than currently people being sitting in cash? Because the banks are currently paying 0.0 and you put the number behind it. They're not a whole lot higher than that. So what are we going to do for those people? I look at a couple different places. If I can get a fixed interest rate for a set period of time, 5 years, between 2 and 3%, it always is going to change. So to be whatever you would get when you come in, that would be something. That's a fixed annuity.
To find out how you can inflation-proof your retirement income plan, give a call today, 636-230-8824, 636-230-8824. More details on the website at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory services offered by All Financial Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor in Missouri. Insurance products are offered through its affiliate, All Insurance Group, LLC, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
At 1:30, it's a sunny sky and 94 degrees downtown at the Arch.
CBS News special report. President Biden is tested positive for COVID. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says he's doing well. First Lady Jill Biden confirms that.
Talked to him just a few minutes ago. He's doing fine. He's feeling good.
Is the First Lady at risk? Dr. Celine Gounder says not necessarily.
If she's masking and she's wearing a high quality mask, a KN95 mask or an N95 mask, so if she's masking when she's indoors with other people, if she's testing at least once a day to make sure that she doesn't turn positive, I think that's okay.
The First Lady will return to Delaware while President Biden isolates at the White House, says CBS's Major Garrett.
The president's going to have to isolate. He's going to have to completely reassess his workflow, and he can't engage directly with anyone in the White House for some number of days, probably at least 5.
The president is said to be experiencing minor symptoms and is being treated with Paxlovid. CBS News Special Report. I'm Linda Kenyon.
And happening live right now.
Avail themselves of that. Get vaccinated. If you have a breakthrough infection, get treated. It's the best thing you can do to protect yourself. Let me stop and take questions. And I know
that is Dr. Rajesh Shah of the White House COVID response team giving a briefing right now in the White House briefing room, providing an update on the president's condition. We'll have the latest for you through the afternoon on KMOX. And we've got a crash on 270 south past 44, a stall 70 east at Salisbury. That's on the right shoulder. Our weather is sponsored by Farm and Home Supply. Dave Murray says a high today of 95 degrees. Overnight clear sky, okay humidity with a low 72. Hot and humid tomorrow with a high between 99 and 100 degrees, according to Dave. Right now it's 94. It feels like 98 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Wednesday, July 27th is First Responders Discount Day at Farm and Home Supply. If you are or have ever been a first responder, stop in your local store to receive 10% off your total purchase. Exclusions apply. See store for details. Farm and Home Supply, outfitting your lifestyle.
Hey, son, how are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it.
When your kid can't find the language, find the lyrics. Start a conversation at soundidouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Our hearing does start to decline as we age. Do yourself a favor, get your hearing checked now. It's important to do it sooner than later. I recently had my hearing checked by Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler at the Audiology Center, St. Peter's, Creve Coeur, and Florissant. She is the best. She has a doctorate in audiology, and she carries the top line of hearing aids because there is no one-size-fits-all solution. 636-441-7470, the Audiology Center, STL.com.
If you're having a bad day, if you're having a bad week, if you're having a bad year, if you're having a bad month, we're human beings. We love each other. We will protect each other. We will take care of each other. Just look around. It happens every single day. Always, you hear the saying, treat others like you would like to be treated. I'm saying it, you hear it, but take it for what it's worth. Look at how you treat others. We all believe we're like the nicest people in the world, but we have bad moments. We have bad times. Something happened to us. But when you see the first person you see, don't be mean to that person. Don't ruin their day. And the next person that you run into that's having a bad problem, they're not going to ruin your day. Remember, we're good people. We're the United States of America. We're the strongest, most giving country in the universe. Remember that. And we do work together. We do not hate each other. Listen to the other person. Learn, enjoy, and God bless.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sundays at 10:15 on Sports Open Line and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show.
I'm excited for not only the club but for the fans. This is a special year for sure.
On KMOX.
Back into the show on KMOX. Reminder that we've got Cardinals baseball coming up tomorrow night. So another night off for the Cardinals. They'll be taking on the Reds in Cincinnati tomorrow night. That is an earlier start time. I think that is a 5:45. No, actually, it's a 5:40 start time tomorrow. So we got Cardinals baseball back tomorrow. And obviously, DGS is coming up after the top of the hour news. So we're efforting a connection with Amy's friend, Flavio Pellegrini, who is in Switzerland, and obviously from Switzerland, based out of there, right?
Yep, he works for Nestle. So that's how I met him. Is he came to St. Louis to work for Purina. Of course, Nestle is the parent company, and he's back at his home country and working at the headquarters there. Are we still trying to get him, Dave?
Yeah, we'll give him a shot. We'll see if Flavio is there. Flavio, can you hear us? Yeah, we're having connection problems. But I think we can kind of set the table for what we're looking at. I mean, so we've talked a lot here, obviously, about dealing with heat and all that. And that's not really the main point, because what you brought up, Amy, was a story that he told you recently about people going back to work. And, remote work has become a thing worldwide. A lot of it exploded during the COVID shutdown. A lot of us, I know I did a lot of work from home, and we had, within the last several months, we've had people that were pushing back against the idea of coming back to the office. Well, as you pointed out, like, that's changing over there by necessity, because nobody has air conditioning. Nobody has the things that we have as a regular base here. So as a way of escaping the difficulty of the heat, people are deciding to go back to the office again.
That's right. I was asking Flavio, how are you doing? How is it feeling? And he said it's very hot. And of course, the homes in Switzerland, they are made for holding in the heat, keeping you warm in the cold winters. And so now with this type of heat where the homes feel like ovens, if the offices are air conditioned, and a lot of these big office buildings are, it has been encouraging for the return to work. So it will be interesting to see.
I wonder if there has any,
do they stay in the office? Do
you realize maybe, because there's a part of me, like when it comes to working at home, because I can do shows from home just as easily as I can do them from here. There's a little bit of a difference in the sound, right? You also have the risk of things going down, right? Connections going badly, or dogs barking in the background, or whatever, right? You have other things that can come in. But there was a point where I was like, man, I wouldn't mind doing this from home every day. And then I started coming back in to the building when things started loosening up and opening up. And then I realized I actually like doing this better here.
Yeah.
I like doing this better in person, in studio, being in the building. I don't like the driving part. I don't think anybody likes the commuting part, but I feel like the job is not only easier, but gets done better when I'm doing it in the building.
Yeah. And this job is a little different.
Yeah, you're right.
When you have multiple people on a show, being able to make eye contact and talk and interact with one another is a huge part of the dynamic of the show. It's a huge part of the sound. Charlie and I were remote for a while, and it's a little bit more removed. I think it feels a bit colder when you're not in the same room with the person. I think for some jobs where collaboration, creativity, conversation that are critical to those breakthrough moments, you need to be in the office. My friend she's in marketing and sales, all of her clients are basically by the phone.
Right.
They're out of state anyway. And she feels like, man, I wish I could stay home. And what's interesting is, don't you think that as we talk about this work from home, that's not it's a big segment of the population, but it's not the majority. Teachers, nurses,
right.
Doctors,
police officers,
first responders, people who work in the service industry, they've been going to work.
Yeah. And if I had a job that was like that, like say I could do, if my job being at the office was being on the phone, being online, doing teleconferences, working with my laptop or with my computer, I would definitely prefer to stay home.
Yeah.
I would absolutely, save me the time driving, save me the expense on the gas, save me the headache of dealing with traffic and dealing with all of those things. I would much in that scenario, it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
I would never want to go back to the office in that case. Not to say that you wouldn't want to go back if it's like one day a week or if it's every other week to have meetings, to do some face-to-face, because there is some value when you're discussing ideas, when you're going over trying to fix problems, of having people in the same place at the same time and being able to have the interaction you described for us, right? For us, it's critical to have that, that back and forth. And that's why it's, we know that we're in a different position. We know that it's kind of an in-between, right? It's not as much of a requirement to be in person as, say, to be a police officer, to be a firefighter. Like, you have to be there to do the job. It's not quite that, but it's also a lot more than, well, most of my work is done on the phone anyway, or most of my time is spent on my computer screen anyway.
What's interesting too, we talk so much about social media, online interaction, how it's easy to dehumanize the person you're talking to. We're all keyboard warriors. We can say all of these things. We can make complaints. We can make accusations on Twitter, on social media, because you're not really interacting with a real human. What some studies and research have found that while people were working remotely, you have complaints against other coworkers, you're way more likely to go to the boss or throw your complaint online or just explode on someone because there's no human interaction of, hey, let's talk about this. Think about how conversations in person, because you can see the facial expression, you can pick up on the vibe, you can hear the inflection of the voice, how those are so much more human and nuanced and empathetic than a text conversation or even a Zoom conversation. And so what they found was like complaints against fellow workers, those could increase because you're never seeing that person in person. Like I can complain about Bob over there, but if I have to see Bob every day and say, hey, Bob, can I talk to you about something? It almost became, we started interacting with each other a bit more online-y, if that makes sense.
What's funny to me, and it's not a problem or an issue here, but it's been like when I had different types of jobs back in my younger days, I almost feel like it would be the opposite.
Right.
Because then they're not getting on your nerves. Like somebody's not eating your food out of the fridge. They're not they're not leaving crap all over the office that makes it look terrible. Like I'm actually kind of encouraged to hear that it was the opposite. Because I thought like being around, be like, oh, please, I'm tired of this.
I believe we have Flavio Pellegrini on the line. Finally. Flavio, you there?
I think I am. Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for hanging on. First of all, are you staying cool, and has the temperature, the heat broken a little bit up where you are in Switzerland?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Second, no, I'm not at all cool. It's in the 90s, and it's been like that for quite some time, and we're boiling essentially.
Just for some perspective, how unusual is this for where you're at? Are you in Zurich?
Correct. I'm in the Zurich area, and we've been probably having 3 weeks of this type of weather with it's hot, no rain. It's quite unusual. We get hot phases, of course, but we also get rain, and we don't get it this year, and getting a bit of an issue, I would say.
You know, Amy was describing earlier the amount of time that you spent here, Flavio. How would you compare what you're experiencing there now to what you experienced in the St. Louis area for the number of years you were here?
I had the chance to spend quite some time to experience the summer and the heat of St. Louis. So when I say 90s, it doesn't sound like a lot. The thing is, though, we do not have air conditioning, so it's and houses are built to keep heat in. So once the concrete buildings are getting heated up, it's like a nice pizza oven. So you're staying nice and toasty.
Is this the number one topic right now in the news in Switzerland and across Europe? Because we are getting a ton of headlines and on national news, what's happening in England, in France, and other parts of Europe.
Absolutely. It's the number one topic. And I think we're still blessed here in Switzerland that it's not as hot as in other parts of Europe where there's really fires and much, much hotter temperatures. But it's really the number one topic. And we're kind of asking ourselves, is this the new normal?
So what is the conversation now? Is this a concern that this might become a more regular thing? Because we know it's awful now, and it's been a longer stretch than what you're used to. Is this the concern that this is more, I don't want to say a permanent change, but maybe a more frequent thing that you're going to have to plan for?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's the biggest concern. And I think with that, all the, climate change conversations heating up literally as well. And, kind of what can we do? And this whole energy discussion that we're having is obviously now a concern, but, we're kind of hot in summer and cold in winter. It's kind of the big fear, and kind of how Europe and essentially also Switzerland, how we're dealing with this energy concerns in the future.
So how is that discussion being had about climate change there, Flavio? Because we know, I'm sure you've experienced the conversations here. They're not pleasant. There's not a lot of agreement. There's a lot of pushback on whether it's happening, to what degree it's happening. What is the conversation like about that topic in Switzerland?
Well, I mean, there's definitely also polarization on the topic. I would say probably there's general agreement, well, that it's happening. We're experiencing it happening. It's not just, well, it was hot when I was a kid. Well, that's one thing, but really we're seeing things that, in terms of like wildfires, et cetera, or the UK having their highest temperature on record in, 150 years. These are things that cannot be discussed away. So I think that there's agreement on that. I think there's definitely a wide variety on how much, what should be done, or if something should be done against it.
Just out of curiosity, what are the gas prices over where you are in Zurich? I know in the U.S., we're complaining a lot about how expensive they are. We're also kind of spoiled with things in general being pretty cheap. But is it bad where you are?
Yes, it is bad. The liter gallon calculator needs to come out. That's right now the liter of gas is at 2 Swiss francs 30, which is about €2.30. About $2.50, which is, I want to say, like 20-30% higher than it was this time around last year, and it's a concern. It's definitely a concern for people. And in Switzerland, we're probably having some of the highest gas prices in all of Europe, as we've also decided not to subsidize it by the government. So.
Yeah. Well, Flavio, thank you so much for joining us. I know we miss you. A whole bunch of people in St. Louis miss you. We hope you and your family are staying safe. I hope you can get some relief from the heat because, as you mentioned, not having air conditioning and just sustained hot temperatures is a true crisis for so many people.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And we're trying to stay cool. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Flavio.
Yeah, it's great stuff. And it just, again, it's good perspective to have and see just how different the conversations are, or if they're different. I'm not surprised, but maybe mildly so, that there's, as he put it, polarization on that topic. It feels like there's more agreement in Europe on like the effects of global warming than there is here, but maybe I'm wrong about that.
Yeah. Whew, I hope people are staying cool, and we do hope the best for all of those who are suffering and really need relief from the heat.
All right, hang tight. We got a few more minutes to run through, and obviously it's the show here on KMOX.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
What you've heard about probiotics is probably wrong.
I eat yogurt, so I don't need to take a probiotic. Probiotics? They don't really work.
It's time to learn the truth about probiotics and join the Align Healthy Gut Team Up. Align has probiotics to naturally help relieve occasional bloating, gas, and abdominal discomfort. Try Align probiotics for a month and see how great a healthy gut can feel. Get $2 off your first month of Align at alignprobiotics.com.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now. Without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99, guaranteed. That's right, don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight and let Mark Patrick hypnosis destroy unwanted cravings and lose the weight. That's right. Seminars Wednesday, August 3rd at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in St. Louis, and Thursday, August 4th at the 4 Points by Sheraton in Fairview Heights. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
Caring for residents for over a century, Manor Grove is committed to making everyone feel at home. Choosing a home for your loved one to reside is an important decision and shouldn't be taken lightly. Manor Grove makes your decision easy with medical professionals and staff who care for residents like family. If you are looking for a caring and quality nursing home and rehab facility, please visit our website, manorgrove.com, and take our virtual tour. Manor Grove, over a century of caring. Welcome home to Manor Grove.
It's ridiculous over here in Illinois. It really is.
How much worse does it have to get?
So expensive nowadays. I wait to the last minute, hoping that the prices will go down.
How much longer can you wait for relief? Governor Pritzker's doubling the state's gas tax gave Illinois some of the highest gas prices in the nation, yet the potholes in Chicago could swallow a CTA bus. Now Pritzker is forcing businesses to lie to their customers for his benefit.
Only thing Illinois is doing is delaying a gas tax increase and calling that a tax cut.
In Illinois, you have to sue to be able to tell the truth.
Gas station owners in Illinois are suing the state over a new law they claim violates their free speech rights.
How much longer will you be made to play the fool? In the last 4 years, Pritzker added another $2,165 to the tax burden Illinois families shoulder, which was already the highest in the nation. How much more of Pritzker can you afford? How much worse does it have to get before you make a change? Paid for by people who play by the rules pack.
Beast Plumbing working all over the region, whether it's a small plumbing job in your home or your business, or it's a big job. You're having maybe issues with sewer and drain. They clean those out. They do a lot. It's a great company, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. They are in search of a great customer service representative and an office manager, and it's a great culture there. Charlie and Jess Beast lead that team. They are also looking for great plumbers. Of course, as the company grows, they need more good people, so check out beastplumbing.com. I do want to mention the July special. They are doing $75 off an Evo Pro 1100 XL garbage disposal. This garbage disposal is the 1100 XL Evo Pro. It's auto reversing, full stainless, super quiet, and it's the most effective disposal on the market currently. If you're in need of a new garbage disposal in your kitchen, get a hold of Beast Plumbing right away. You should have them in your contacts already. 314-698-1154 or online at Beast, that's BEIS plumbing.com. Tell them Bo sent you to Beast Plumbing.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Did you know that one of the health benefits of swimming lessons is burning more calories than jogging while providing ease on your joints? SwimOnFoundation.org.
Jay Leno and Jeff Foxworthy, two legends, one historic night. Friday, November 18th, The Fabulous Fox. Tickets on sale Friday at metrotips.com.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444. Back to the show.
Yeah, the show!
With Amy, Chris, and Kevin on KMOX.
All right, just a few minutes left. DGS coming up after the top of the hour news. What do you got going on today? You going to be like running in the heat this afternoon?
Kevin, I'm going to go run 10 miles in the heat this
Seriously?
afternoon. Yeah. I did not wake up early enough this morning to do 10 miles before show.
So like treadmill's not an option. We have to go right out into the heat.
We will be out in the sun. I like it though. Do you know, I think I'm
going to be out
old.
in the sun too, but I'm not going to be running 10 miles.
Okay. So glad you brought that up. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you don't believe me, but I think it is more difficult to sit in the seats at a baseball game in the sun on a hot day than it is to run. Because I promise. Because in Forest Park, you're running, so you're creating a breeze for yourself.
Sure, tell yourself that you're that fast.
And then you do run under some trees, so you occasionally get shade. But when you sit in those seats, and I love Busch Stadium, but if you sit in the seats, in the sun seats on a hot day, it is like you're being baked.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're baked while you're not out of breath, while your legs aren't burning. Like the muscles are burning. I mean, you're burning like from the outside, but you're not.
Breeze.
I mean, I'm also not generating sweat by running.
But you are sweating.
Well, of course, yes, but it's on top of don't you sweat more when you run than when you sit around? Because I do.
Oh yeah.
If I do anything, I mean, if I even think about running, I sweat more than just sitting around.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, Flavio texted actually right after he got off the phone and said he was, quote, sweating like he was doing a workout in Forest Park.
Oh man, and it's almost 9 o'clock at night.
It's almost 9 p.m. there, and he's at home.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's. I mean, like to us, it might not feel like it. Like for example, I was at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater last night. We talked about it earlier in the show, and yesterday that Ben Boyd and I went to a concert. We went to see Rob Zombie. It was about 90 degrees according to the weather app on my phone at the start of the show when we sat down, and it felt just fine.
Last
it
night,
felt
for some reason, was
just
not that bad.
fine. It
Yeah.
was not like I didn't feel uncomfortable. I wasn't sweating. We were at a show a few years ago where it was a day like today is, where the daytime high was like 100, 102. And that was pretty miserable. It was really hot.
And the thing is, too, you can handle the heat in the day, but when you go to bed, like I like to sleep when it's cold. I live in an old apartment building. The air conditioner runs all day long and the temperature continues to climb. So by the time I go to bed, like last night, it was 77 degrees in my apartment. And I am having trouble sleeping. And that's at 77 degrees.
Do you have fans and stuff?
I have a fan.
Okay.
Yeah. But imagine, again, being in Switzerland where you have no air conditioning for 3 weeks. It's 90 degrees or hotter, in your apartment. And I slept so well. That's why I love hotels. You have the really dark curtains.
Super cold.
And it's super cold. We had it on 65 degrees.
Oh, that's too cold.
Oh, really?
Little
I
bit,
love it.
Little
It's
bit.
beautiful. Slept like a baby.
Yeah.
65 degrees, really dark. And instead, my apartment's hot and it's very bright.
So you'll run 10 miles. How long is that going to be out in the sun for you?
Hour 20.
You got to go run for an hour and 20 minutes?
Yeah. But it's again, I argue that running, and I throw walking in there, is not as bad as sitting in the sun on bleachers.
Driver Joe says he's with you 100%, except that he rides a bike. He cycles, so he gets more of a breeze.
God.
And he said because he can't run fast enough to get the breeze. That's me too, Joe. Me too. I'm just going to be sitting out for a double header this afternoon.
Ooh, that sounds so much worse.
On a turf field.
How many hours?
Oh, I don't know. Probably 4 or 5.
Ooh.
Something along those lines. So enjoy your heat. I'll enjoy mine. And you guys enjoy DGS. They're next on KMOX.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, 314-946-9999. We buy houses direct. If you're thinking about selling, you're not sure where you're going to go, you can sign a contract with us. We are the buyer, and we can provide a flexible closing date for you. Once we've written a contract, we can actually adjust the closing date if you need to move it up or you need to move it back. A lot of people aren't sure where they're going to move next, and we can make it easy on you.